It's time to start honoring the 1993 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. Kurt Schilling is here. We saw Danny Jackson last night. Tommy Green's here as well. Kurt came into the office today and said Tommy Green looks better now than he did when he played back in 1993. Ricky Jordan pitching to Jim Eisenreich on the wiffle ball field. There's Mickey Morandini. His first Sandlot home run came at the yard today. It's Weekends with Schmidt, presented by Acme Markets. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with John Kruk. He's getting a chance to visit with his buddies this weekend. Mike Schmidt's here as well. All right, so the Phils are going to try to rebound today against these Brewers. Phillies are 4-10 in the last 14 games. The Brewers are young and they're hungry, but they do have one veteran that just seems to be a thorn in the Phillies' side. Every team has that guy, and it's Ryan Braun, who's for the Brewers.
You're right. Every team does have a nemesis, and for sure one for us is Ryan Braun. But he's no slouch now. He averages over the course of his 162-game schedule 33 home runs and 109 RBIs. Now here on the screen you'll see what he has done against the Phillies. In 67 games, the guy has 67 RBIs. He has 24 home runs in 67 games. Oh, that's a given. We know he's done good against us. But take a look at the Toyota turning point from last night's ball game. All right, after working a deep count, he got a hanging curveball, as John described it in last night's game, because I was watching on TV, and drilled it for a 3-run home run. That was your Toyota turning point. And later in the game, a little bit lower curveball, but he went down to get it and lined it down the left field line, and he catches the 329 foul pole there. Home run by about an inch, but when you're going good, you're going good. You know, you got to face Jake Arrieta, who John will talk about today. I look at that as a pretty neat matchup, because I don't think Arrieta likes what Ryan Braun has been doing against the Phillies. So when Ryan Braun looks out at the mound and he sees that scary Jake Arrieta, I don't know if he'll be raking the ball all over the ballpark like he has recently.
Well, let's hope he doesn't, because it is tough to keep him in the yard. And Arrieta for the Phillies has been very good. His numbers really stand out here at Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing. His two clunkers this year were in San Francisco, not a great hitter's ballpark, and Miami, who's not only not great hitter's ballpark, they're not a great team. But at home, he's just been unbelievably dynamic, and he has to be today, because it looked like the Brewers had a little offensive slump coming in, and they kind of broke out of it last night. But this is the guy you want on the mound. He or Aaron Nola, when you have losing streaks, you want this guy on the mound. His last start against San Francisco, not very good. He made some comments, and I think there's a redeemer factor going for him today in this game against the Milwaukee Brewers. The unbelievable splits, though, when you look at it. 4.5 ERA, 0.04 at home. And like I said, this is a great hitter's ballpark. He just don't give up hits here. We need that today, because our offense is struggling. We got to get some runs for him early, let him settle in, and hopefully he can keep these Brewers bats at bay.
Yeah, we mentioned the Phillies are 4-10 in the last 14 games. They're still just 3 games out, though, in the National League East. They need to get a victory here today. Brent Suter will be on the mound for the Brewers. He's making his 12th start of the year, his 14th appearance. He works quickly. His pace is very up-tempo. Yeah, we begin to honor the 1993 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies today and tomorrow. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider according to speedtest.net. By Toyota, the Toyota Camry, Highlander, and RAV4 have something for everybody. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phils. Visit citizensbank.com. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. The park is gone. Don't miss the movie event of the summer, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, in theaters now. Well, that franchise is really taking off once again, like a lot of movie franchises. Jake Arrieta's out on the mound, warming up, getting set for today's start against the Milwaukee Brewers, a team he's very familiar with. He has 8 wins during his career against the Brewers. Let's take a look at Milwaukee's lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Lineup is the same as yesterday for the Brewers, with Yelich batting second, hitting .367 over his last 12 games. The only change is Eric Kratz, the former Phil, is doing the catching. He is the backup catcher for the Brewers, and off to a very good start for them. And there's Arrieta's numbers. 5-3 with a 2.66 ERA. Opposition hitting .241 against him. He was humming along the other day, John, against the Giants, and then he ran into trouble in 1 inning, and that was basically it for him.
And you know, that's the problem that you're having with the Phillies offense right now, struggling to score runs. 1 inning can decide the game, and it puts a lot of heat on our starting pitchers to you know, keep the amount of runs the other team score to a bare minimum.
Well, a rare day game on a Saturday here in Philadelphia, at least at this start time. Lorenzo Cain leads it off, and the first pitch of the day is outside.
I like it. I like it now that we're here. I wasn't liking it about 7 o'clock this morning when the alarm went off.
1 ball and no strikes. And a bouncer foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
See if Cain still has that same cupless cracked bat.
Yeah, Mike, did you see that last night? He cracked his bat and then he just painted it so he can keep using it.
No, I did not see that. I was kind of like, I got to admit, when it got to 11-0, I must admit, I started looking at my computer a little bit.
You weren't hanging on our every word?
Turned the sound on. Came back later.
Over to third base, Crawford. And he throws out Cain.
I'll tell you what, Cain was impressive last night. He stung a couple of balls. Looked good in left field. I don't know about him as a leadoff hitter.
Here's the bat that we saw last night. This is after he painted it. It's like somebody took a bite out of the cup.
Oh, the end of the bat.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
And use it. And it was like that when he went up to one at bat and he hit one off the end of the bat and more came out and he still used it.
Umpire didn't catch that?
No.
No, and then they painted it black, and then they had someone, who was that down there authenticating it with a sticker?
Sam.
Sam was down there and authenticated with a sticker.
You can't get away with anything, right?
Not with our eyes out there. Angels down there today authenticating. 1 ball and 1 strike to Yelich. Yelich 2 for 5 last night. He did it a home run in his last at bat. And he lines that one to left field, a base hit. A 1-out single.
You know, that's what we need. You know, we need that type of hitting, the willingness to go the other way with pitches that are out over the place.
Look at that thing.
Oh man,
that's a deep cup, isn't it?
It needs to be sanded down a little bit.
You like that bat. Here's Aguilar. He was 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs in last night's game. Brewers sit atop the Central Division. They are a half game ahead of Chicago. The Cubs will play the Pittsburgh Pirates in a little bit.
Yeah, that's I guess the only redeeming thing about last night is both the Braves and the Nationals lost.
Yeah, so the
Phillies
Phillies
didn't lose any ground.
Yeah, they're still 3 games out in the East.
And you know, you look at it. You know, Strasburg goes down with an injury. You know, you don't know. You know what they're going to have to replace him.
You're never as bad as you think you are when you're bad, or as good as you think you are when you're good. Just and I admire Gabe for handling the press the way he does. He keeps an upbeat attitude about it. He's not singling out anybody. He doesn't get down. He always seems to have a positive attitude. And you know, we're not that bad. You'd like to say, what have you done for me lately? How bad ever you are. The recent 3 or 4 or 5 games has not been good. Everybody's like, we're worried about maybe this is the real Phillies, you know, and Gabe stays away from that kind of thinking, and he keeps looking ahead, which is a good thing for this young team.
Well, you know, he was a little frustrated last night, obviously, with the runs the Brewers scored early. 1 ball and no strikes to Aguilar. And a foul tip, and it's 1-1.
All that being said, we still need to win a couple of ball games, and we got to hit to win. We're going to have to hit.
Yep, realistically.
Got to move runners, cutting down our strikeouts. There's a lot of things we got to do.
Yeah, I know that there's that running dialogue that strikeouts don't really matter, but they do.
Yes,
I mean, no matter how you break it down, they do matter. Another toss over to first base, and Yelich, who has stolen 7 bags, and he will steal bases. Although I don't know how much the Brewers will run on Jorge Alfaro with how good he's been throwing guys out.
I think it's more about Arrieta.
Very true.
And I think if Yelich gets a jump, he's going to take off.
Opposite way, that ball is hit pretty well. Maltaire's going back, and the Brewers have a 2-0 lead. 11th home run of the season for Aguilar.
You're kidding me. I mean, that was just kind of a poke to right field. It just actually, the wind's not going to right field either. It's actually coming in a little bit from center field, and ball out over the plate, poke it. Last night he hit that curveball. Now they carried out there that Williams misjudged a little bit. Look at this. Man, that's some serious strength right there. Beautiful stroke, John.
Yeah, it is. Just stay on it. That's the thing too. The balance.
You could go the other way too, right?
Yeah, his balance was incredible. You know, as you know, that's one of the biggest. You know, seeing the ball is first and foremost. At second, I always thought was balance.
Estimated distance 353 feet. There's a fly ball to left field. Rhys Hoskins' first chance of the day, just off the disabled list, and there are 2 outs. Rhys was given the go-ahead today to be back out there. It's nice to see him back in the lineup.
I think Braun's got, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Tommy, 23 career at bats against
26.
26.
Yep.
So close. Got 3 home runs against him.
Yes, he does. Arrieta has faced Braun and vice versa because of their days in the Central together. When Arrieta was pitching for the Cubs, he's 8-4 against the Brewers. 81 strikeouts in 92 innings. Outside, 2-0. Time for our Geico quote of the day. Ryan Braun and his success at this ballpark. As a competitor, it's always fun. It's always a fun place to play. My first 5-6 years in the league, this was one of the marquee teams, one of the toughest places to play. Well, that is true. That included a postseason series against the Brewers. 2 balls and 1 strike. And outside.
I did a little research on Ryan because I talked about him in the opening. He has a little over 1,000 RBIs career. Has just a little over 300 home runs career. The numbers are going to be pretty good if he plays another 6 or 7 years.
There's a strike 3 at 2. His issue will be, like a lot of players who have been busted for PED usage. You know, where does his legacy lie? How much of it is tainted?
And that's the thing you hope these guys learn. Like, you look at the guys who got caught and admitted it. And, you know, they're model citizens in the game. And then the ones that don't are vilified.
Right. Strikeout. 16 pitches in the inning. A 2-run home run gives the Brewers the early lead as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Cesar Hernandez leading things off for the Phils. Phils down by 2. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, America's best internet provider, according to speedtest.net. Well, the guy in the number 2 spot is the key addition for the Phillies. It's Rhys Hoskins. His numbers were down before he went on the DL, but it's nice to have him back in the lineup. Carlos Santana's last 13 home games hitting .340. That includes a couple hits in last night's game. Or I should say a couple of chances to drive in a run. Cesar takes a strike. The lefty Brent Suter is out of Harvard. And from the Cincinnati area, those are the particulars on him.
Pretty smart pitcher, huh? Harvard.
Because he's from the Cincinnati area. 1-1 is whacked foul. 1-2 for Moeller High School, Michael.
Oh, famous high school. Famous football school. When I was growing up, it was always one of the powerhouses in the state.
Did you ever battle him for baseball?
No. No. Didn't Larkin go there?
Larkin.
Barry went there, yes.
Junior went there. Ken Griffey Jr. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You know, Barry Larkin went to the University of Michigan.
Didn't know that.
You know what he went for? Scholarship? Ice hockey.
You are a wealth of knowledge.
Baseball. Oh, I talked to Barry a lot about it. It's just funny because it's a funny story. They didn't have scholarships for baseball left, and they really wanted him to come play. And the ice hockey team had an extra, so
gave him a.
I have to admit, I've never heard that kind of story before. That's amazing. As Cesar strikes out, and there's one away here in the first. Here's Rhys Hoskins. He's got some interesting equipment he's working with today there, Murph.
He is indeed. He is back, activated from the disabled list today, which is good news for this Phillies offense. But obviously, he needs the protection on that hairline fracture in his jaw, so they have come up with a helmet just for that. It is basically a double flap with the 2 C flaps. You can see both sides will have the protective jaw protection on it. It is one of a kind in Major League Baseball right now, which is why they weren't absolutely sure that he would be activated today because they were waiting to get the helmet in. He was able to take some swings this morning in the cages, able to feel comfortable in it. They gave him the thumbs up, and he is ready to go. So it is certainly good to see as you take a look at the double flapped helmet, and hopefully it will protect him as that hairline fracture continues to heal. Because, you know, it'll take a little bit longer, but he says he feels great, felt great yesterday doing all baseball activities out on the field, so he is ready to go, and hopefully it's a spark this offense needs, guys.
I asked him about the double flap today because today was when he was, obviously, as Murph said, is when they got it in, so he was hitting with it. He said it's a little weird just to get used to it. The double flap is fine. The protection is what's a little weird. Double flap, he said, I did that in the minor leagues.
I bet you in the next 10 years they have a plexiglass shield
down the right field line. That's a long run for everybody involved, and Yelich is there. And there are 2 outs.
You know, a plexiglass shield to go over those things, and sort of like quarterbacks and backs and wide receivers have in football to protect their eyes.
He did try the softball grid, you know, the cage that the softball players wear on the collegiate level, and he said it was just too difficult because it was higher, because it was more to protect their eyes than anything else. So nice job by Phil Sheridan and Joe Swihart and the Phillies clubhouse, each doing their handiwork to get all that done. Swanee did a heck of a job this morning. No balls and 1 strike to Odubel. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Murph, what did Hoskins feel like he looked like with that on?
Like, I think he felt like a superhero. He said he felt like Magneto from Iceman.
I thought that. That's what I thought. It was either an astronaut or Magneto.
Well, an astronaut too. There you go. But yeah.
Kazoo didn't enter anyone's mind?
No, that's too old school, Johnny.
Not with the extra protection. He just had the double flap.
And Odubel went around, and the inning is over. Phillies go down in order in their half of the first. That's a 13-pitch first inning for Suter. We'll go to the second. Brewers 2, Phillies nothing. Game time is 1:35. It's the John Kruk 1990s BP pullover, free to men 15 and older. Go to Phillies.com to get your tickets now.
Is tomorrow Father's Day?
No, tomorrow is Father's Appreciation Day.
Okay.
Father's Day is next week.
Oh, okay.
1 ball and no strikes. I have to admit,
these are have to buy ourselves gifts.
I have to admit, I wasn't sure. VR leads it off. He was hitless in yesterday's game. He was the only one who was hitless. Fouls it off, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, hopefully he wasn't saving them for today.
Yeah, well, if he's the only one, it's okay. But they're down 2-0 right now. 1 ball, 1 strike to VR. Outside, 2-1. Fouled away into the, right into the suite. It may have gone through the door because it didn't come back out.
I hope everyone's all right in there, but can you imagine walking out of the bathroom? Can you imagine walking out of the bathroom in the suite and all of a sudden a ball comes whistling by you?
Starts pinballing around. Over to the right side. Santana has it. Arrieta there to cover. 3-1 on the put out.
Good play. Textbook defense. Santana running to first with that ball.
Watch the ball disappear here. Margie's in there, so look, it's gone.
Hop over the fence and get that thing.
Here's Eric Kratz, the former Philly. Nice to see Eric back in the big leagues. He was with the Yankees organization this past year and then was traded to Milwaukee when they needed a backup catcher. He's already hit 2 home runs.
Hitting 500 too.
It's pretty stylish.
You need to put a stop to that.
He was hitting 280 or 269, and there's a line drive base hit in AAA, and he'll get 2 out of this one. First double of the season for Kratz.
Whew. That was a rocket. See, nothing wrong with swinging at that first pitch. Shoot, I wouldn't want to fall behind Arrieta.
Top end. Buggy whipped that one.
Really no chance for J.P. Crawford. Gabe was saying today that he likes having J.P. at third with Arrieta on the mound because there's so many ground ball opportunities. And if they are going to shift, and he said there's not going to be much difference, even though Jake said what he said last week against the Giants. He said you're not going to see a real big difference. He said you might see some subtle differences with the shift, that they have talked about it. But JP then could play the shortstop position in the shift, and they won't lose anything since it's his natural position. Arcia looked awkward on that, and it's 0-2.
Arcia looked like up there on that swing what I would feel like if I went in there
because of the crossfire
right now. Boy, he can be nasty on a right-handed hitter.
Especially when you have a high leg kick and you're bailing.
Checked his swing.
You remember last year he did that a couple times, Arcia against us. He'd get 2 strikes with a big leg kick, look awkward, bailing, and then he would basically lift his front foot up about an inch and just set it back down. And he hit a couple homers off of us. Hey, why wouldn't you do that every pitch? Like, how much
makes
further
too much sense.
Yeah, I guess. Watch his front foot. He just sets it, picks it up, and sets it down.
Crawford with his second opportunity of the day, and they're 2 outs. Over to third goes Kratz.
See, now there's a good example of what contact can do for you. Granted, he's not there with 1 out, he's there with 2 outs, but There's a big difference in a strikeout in that situation and just contact somewhere. I mean, you could have got the third baseman. Crawford could have thrown the ball in the dirt. Anything could happen when you put the ball in play. Plus now, as we've said many times, John, a lot of ways you can score from third with 2 outs.
And we've been prone to the wild pitch pass ball this season. So that, and especially with the movement that Arrieta can put on his pitches.
Suter hitting 200. He does have a home run this year. His first major league home run. Fouls it away, 0-2.
Now here's where you hope that Jake doesn't try to throw a slider at his back foot and he buries it. Gets past Alfaro.
And a breaking ball, a little low.
All right, we passed that test.
That's a tough pitch to take, I think, if you're a pitcher. Although I guess you're just thinking, well, I'm not going to hit it. So,
been there.
Check swing.
Another one.
And Brian Honora says he did not go. So it's 2-2.
Well, I guess we need to throw the fastball now, John.
You'd think, but I don't know. We've seen over the years 3-2 breaking balls to pitchers and to walk them. Who knows?
Got him. Second strikeout for Arrieta. Leaves a runner over third. No runs. 1 hit, 1 man left. Middle of the second. 2-0 Brewers. Still find time to watch the Phils. Download the NBC Sports app on all of your devices so you can watch the Phils in any room of your house and when you're on the go. Bottom of the second. It's 2-0 Brewers on top. And it'll be Carlos Santana to lead things off. By the way, guys, we have some birthday wishes to throw out there today.
All right, let's hear it.
Phil Sheridan in the Phillies clubhouse.
Yeah, Phil.
Yep. He's getting closer to being able to add more to his 401k with each passing year and getting his AARP card. A lot of benefits to that, fellas. AARP card.
I'm trying to think, do I have one?
You may not. It's offered, though. And also, Matt Morano in the visiting clubhouse is not as old as Phil, but he is also celebrating a birthday today. So, boys, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. AARP.
That's right.
I know I got all the information.
You just didn't sign up for it.
I've been procrastinating over it for the last 7 years. Once you turn 50, right?
I think it's 50.
50. I think that's when I started getting all that stuff.
Santana takes a strike I'll be 50 in a few weeks, so I keep getting it also. So that's why I was wondering. Santana 1 for 2 last night.
Well, let us know how it goes. Maybe we'll sign up.
0-2.
Right? We got to follow our leader, right, Michael?
Sure.
We have to be nice to Matt Morano because they have great cheesesteaks in the visiting clubhouse, so they might bring some up for you.
I could use one today.
Have you ever had a cheesesteak from the visiting clubhouse here?
When I played?
Here.
No, but when I played,
yeah,
as a visiting player, yeah, they made great ones.
It's carried over. The tradition, Kevin Steinauer and the guys have carried the tradition over. Santana fouls it back, and it remains 1-2.
Well, isn't that catered?
No, they make them downstairs.
They have a little flat top down there, and they make grilled the onions. And used to be back in a little room.
Now it's in the kitchen. Now it's a priority.
And you walk back in that room, they had like a couple recliners, and like near the end of the season, if you came here to play, you know, they'd have football games on, of course, and they'd make cheesesteaks. Oh my God, I used to sit back there. I didn't even want to go out for BP. Could answer a lot of questions on why I look like I do today.
Well,
but
you're happy. There's a bouncer out to shortstop. And one away. Well, Jimmy Salome, James Justin Salome Jr., born on the 7th of June, 6 pounds 7 ounces. You know, we saw them in Baltimore, Jimmy and his wife Lee, and Lee looked like she was ready to go, and she was ready to go. That ball is a rocket out to left field, but it's right at Braun. Well, congratulations, Jimmy. Jimmy's one of our favorite guys.
Cute baby.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Wow.
Great pictures.
By the way, Aaron Altair jumped on that first fastball and lined it to left field. Just didn't get enough height on that bad boy.
Ryan Braun's only been in the league for what, 10 or so years. He still needs a card.
No, it's a little cheat sheet.
Guess they didn't play last night. Oh yeah, they did. Sorry.
Here's Kingery. And Kingery takes high. 1-0. What's the game come to, Johnny?
I've lost my mind. No, you know what? Maybe I haven't lost my. Maybe you and I, Michael, haven't lost our mind. Maybe everyone else has.
I'll go along with that. I've lost a lot of other things, but not my mind.
You lost your glasses a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Found those though.
Tell you what, the Phillies keep playing like this, I might lose my will to watch them.
1 ball and 1 strike to Kingery.
Different day today.
And it's 1-2.
Guy talking to the, Bill Schroeder over there, the announcer for the Brewers, and he said this kid works fast. He throws strikes. He said, but getting deep into games, 5 innings is about it for him. So that's the thing. You better jump on him early because their bullpen is unbelievable.
It's amazing the difference, how different the game looks when everybody's working real fast. Have you been following this shot clock Masters golf?
I have not. No.
And on the European tour, they got a tournament over there now that has shot clock on everybody, every shot, and every hole has a
time limit,
a clock. Like it's actually a scoreboard clock. Big, similar to the one we got in the outfield, but bigger. And it counts from 50 on down if you're the first player to play, and it's 40 after that. So the first player gets 50 seconds to hit his shot, and everyone after that in the group gets 40 seconds to hit their shot. It's amazing the difference. The guys love it over there. It's getting great reviews, and the game is sped up. They're playing in 4 hours, slightly under 4 hours. And you get 1 stroke penalty if you don't hit it within your time slot.
I'm surprised that they would embrace it so much.
So point being, the game looks crisp. It looks more fun to watch when the pitcher's working fast. The batter doesn't back out and fix a Velcro on his gloves every pitch.
Well, and also between innings, like you watch, and like guys take forever to get out of the dugout to get to their positions.
Outside, 3-2.
Well, a lot of them walk to their positions too.
And ball 4. So Kingery walks.
Good at bat by Scott.
And now J.P. Crawford coming up. J.P. had 1 hit in last night's ball game. I know it's always harder to take off against a left-hander, but Scotty could go here. You just have J.P. leading things off.
Well, he gets the 2 strikes. He'll definitely be going. Yeah, you gotta play it safe on a left-hander like this. Got a good move. Back in the day, Steve Carlton had the best move in baseball. And guys just wouldn't get anywhere near a big lead when he was pitching.
0-1. Crawford fouls it back.
Remember, Carlton used to hang in it. You know, he used to put that foot up and kind of hang right there, and then he could go either way.
Yeah, Jamie used to do that too. Yeah. Jamie Moyer. Went around 1-2 on a breaking ball.
Hey, Fernando had a good move for a lefty too. Fernando bounds well. He picked me off one year in winter ball, and I was playing first.
Did it hit you right between the eyes?
No, luckily he threw a screwball, so it ran away. It ran into the runner. Of course, the runner almost hit me because I was bouncing off the base. Wasn't good.
See, this is, I'm talking about J.P. Crawford. If we look at the defense out there, it's not good when you're a young hitter and your hitting chart shows that they can put a switch on you like this. J.P. needs to be spreading that ball all over the field, and on the ground, on the line, getting on base, hitting for a high batting average. Hopefully that'll come as he gets older in the game, but just look out at that defense and you know your hitting pattern's not a good one for you.
Swing and a miss. That on strikes, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Suter. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. And we'll go on to the 3rd. It's 2-0 Brewers.
It's fair ball. Croc to Paul. The Phillies are the '93 National League Eastern Division champions. This wonderful band of throwback players has won the National League East.
Well, one of the great moments back in 1993 when the Phillies won the National League East. It was the culmination of what was a fantastic year that started out so strong from spring training on. They were 17-5 in the month of April and really didn't look back. It did get a little tight from time to time during the year.
You think?
But never looked back, and we're going to get a chance to visit with some of the players on the 93 team throughout the weekend, and Greg Murphy's with one right now.
I am indeed, Tom, and here with Roger Mason, who obviously was a part of that bullpen in '93. And we were just watching that clip, and I don't know about you, but I still get chills when I watch that moment against the Braves. What do you see? What do you think when you see that moment, the clinching moment?
Well, it was incredible because I had been with Pittsburgh the 2 years prior to that, and we lost probably two of the worst heartbreaking games to the Braves. So when we beat the Braves to go to the World Series, I think I was probably happier than anybody else in the ballpark that day.
Yeah, well, you and I were just kidding about it. I said, you know, you were kind of a wily veteran on this team because you had been to the postseason a couple of times, and you know, had your season ended by the Braves. Now you head to the World Series with this group of guys that to this day, all these years later, when you get back together with these guys, I would imagine the stories just start to flow. It's got to be a lot of fun to see these guys.
Yeah, these guys are really fun. You know, I can remember sitting, you know, so I've been with a number of different teams, so I'd sit in the dugout, you know, just kind of looking across the field thinking, how would I fit in with that group of players? And I'm thinking, I don't think that I would fit in with them at all. But I have to tell you, these are probably the most fun group of guys that I ever played with.
Yeah, you know, you from the outside looking in, you think, what an intimidating group, perhaps, to have to go into that clubhouse and become a part of it. But you said, you know, they accepted everybody, and because of that, you had the success that you guys had.
Yeah, we really did. You know, I mean, I was a chapel leader on most of the teams that I was with, and you know, it didn't really look like we came from the same place a lot of times, but it really was a lot of fun. And you know, I know John's around here all the time, John Kruk, and you know, it's not like John and I were like hung out a lot together, but he was one of my favorite teammates. He just brought life to everything that you know, anytime he was around.
He continues to do that around here at Citizens Bank Park too. We call him Life. That's the nickname that I'm. From now on, John, you will be called Life because you do. Just talk about some of the best memories from that team. Do you have one that sticks out other than maybe that clinching moment with the Braves?
Well, Game 6, obviously, I remember that because you know, I was sitting on the bench after I'd been out there pitching, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I had a chance for a World Series win. Well, you know, it didn't work out that way, but you know, just going through that whole process, I mean, it was just such an interesting, eventful World Series that we were in. You know, I mean, with the extra inning game that we played and everything, that, you know, that's just great memories from that.
Are you surprised that we sit, you know, all these years later, that this team is still beloved the way it is in Philadelphia? Because it is. For every man on that team, when they're in the city of Philadelphia, feels it. Are you surprised by that?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it's surprising because the Phillies won a World Series after we came through. But I don't know if you'll ever see a group of guys put together and a team like this team had. I mean, they were the blue-collar guys. They went out and they worked hard and they busted their butt when they were out there and just had fun while they were doing it.
What's keeping you busy nowadays, Roger? I know you're up in Michigan, live up in Michigan. What keeps you busy?
You know, we got a couple grandkids now, and our daughter's getting married this fall, and so, you know, babysitting and having fun with the kids.
Sounds like a pretty good way to spend your time.
It's not bad.
Roger, good to see you. Welcome back to Citizens Bank. Always nice to see you guys when you get back here. All right, Mike, Tom, Life, back to you.
Life.
You like the game of life, Johnny.
I love Roger. I tell you what, though, he came in and he did an unbelievable job for us. He was, you know, we faced him. I faced him a lot when he was with the Giants, and you know, those guys, you know, that back then, you know, they had those big, tall right-handers, Kelly Downs and Scott Geraltz and Roger, you know, and they all had that good fastball with the split. Man, they were nasty.
It seemed like he kind of helped balance out the bullpen to a certain extent.
Well, with Larry and David West and Mitch out there, someone had to balance something out.
Somebody had to balance it out. No balls and 1 strike to Aguilar. Phillies unfortunately couldn't turn the 2 because Kane was moving on that last pitch.
It was fun to watch that play. Not fun because Kane got the second, but you know how many times have we seen it where guys just stand there and watch the play. You had Alfaro, you had Arrieta, and you saw Kane busting it to third base to keep Kane at second. That got in there a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, that was almost a foul in the face ball.
Aguilar's first time up. Our giant home run replay.
John, look at this. He just straightened his arms out. All he did was just straighten his arms out. Got the ball in the sweet spot. Home run.
That was snapped a streak of 31 consecutive innings for Arrieta. At home. And Crawford is able to throw out Aguilar. That's a heck of a play. We said that he's in there because of his defense today, because his ability to move around at third base, and he's shown it on a couple of plays already.
Yeah, I think he's had 3 plays in this game alone where he's had to charge balls and make the quick underhanded throw to first.
I like that. You see where he fielded that ball? The ball's in fair territory. His feet were in foul territory because he's creating an angle to go to first base.
Good point, John.
You know, how many guys you see they catch it come moving forward and their body's facing home, and they have to throw across their body and they might sink it and throw it past the first baseman. Great footwork by Crawford.
Here's Travis Shaw with a runner at third, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, let's go back to that point again just to bring it up for the fans out there. The value of making contact. An 0-2 pitch, just putting it in play, advancing the runner to third.
Yeah, so that's back-to-back innings now that they've had a runner at third base. 2-0.
Yeah, because of no strikeout.
Aguilar was upset about something. I'm not sure what it was.
We got to go back.
Inside, 3-0.
That's it right there. Arcia right there. You see that? That's going to be me next year.
The hair?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can you make that work?
I'm certain you can calm it. I'm just not certain he
it's
does.
Like a bird's nest.
I like it.
I guess you could do that.
It's an off-season goal.
It looks like one of those things that you used to have, you know, those visors they sold
the visor,
with
the
built-in hair. 3-1 pitch on the outside corner, 3-2. Shaw did not think so. Ryan Braun on deck.
You know, that was a pitch whereby why would you care whether he called it a strike or not? You want to hit 3-2, don't you? Got RBI out there.
There's ball 4. Yeah, I would think so, particularly when you're the cleanup hitter. First and third with 2 men down.
Guess who?
Well, it's Braun. He did strike out his last time up.
Not well liked in the city of brotherly love.
No.
Sure, that goes for a lot of other cities.
Braun struck out his first time.
What did Reggie Jackson say? They don't boo nobodies.
Tapper foul, and it's 0-1. Mike Cranston from the AP wrote this before the Brewers came to town. He said the Milwaukee Brewers were in Cleveland earlier this week when Ryan Braun told manager Craig Counsell he couldn't wait for the next stop on the road trip. I mean, he knew, we saw his Geico quote, but he knew how well he hits here. For one reason or another, he hits well here. And it kind of creeps into your head. The negatives creep in, the positives creep in.
Well, I'll throw myself into that mix. I did pretty well against the Chicago Cubs, but I don't think I would ever give him any ammunition. Sometimes as loose-lipped as I can be. One thing I wouldn't say is I can't wait to get to Chicago. Right? right. Lee Smith wouldn't have liked that.
No. Especially no shot of Lee Arthur coming here throwing 190. And you can't see it.
One ball and one strike to Braun. Outside, 2-1.
You know, when I got traded to the Phillies, that was one of the first questions. I think you're a .330 hitter in this ballpark. You got to be happy to be coming here. And I said, yeah, but I'm not facing these guys. Now, it didn't really endear myself to our pitchers, but
right.
I said, you know, I'm going to be facing other pitchers now, not these guys.
Bouncer over to third. Nice hop for J.P. Crawford. And Arrieta works out of a little jam here in the third inning. Crawford makes all 3 plays. No runs, 1 hit, and 2 men left. Mike's career numbers against the Cubs, home run wise, 78 home runs.
Who are those guys?
They are like Reggie Jackson said, they don't boo nobodies. We go to the bottom of the third. I'm going to the fan section for all the information. Please, guys, submit your answer on the subject line. The question is, what actor starred in both Field of Dreams and The Sandlot? What actor starred in both Field of Dreams and The Sandlot? Today is the 24th, honoring the 25th anniversary of the movie Sandlot. You guys seen both movies, Michael?
Nope. I had my Harvey Keens and my
did you?
and all those kind of names.
Yeah.
I was going back, and you come up with the Sandlot.
Well, I didn't come up with it, but it is an appropriate question because there are 2 of the actors from the movie Sandlot here today. Yeah. Yeah was here. The guy who played Yeah.
Guy named York. Never mind.
Tommy York. Yeah, I think it was Tommy. Alfaro leads it off. And he lines it to center field, and that will drop for a hit.
There we go. We're on the board.
Prior to the ball game today, those 2 actors that we talked about, Victor DiMattia played Timmy Timmons, and Marty York as Yeah. That was a great movie. I know you guys, I don't know if you guys both saw it, but it was a great movie.
Do you have a backup question?
No, but I'll give you some hints. Arrieta bunts it toward third. Shaw goes to second for 1, and that's all they'll get. So the sacrifice not successful. It's a fielder's choice. And 5-6 on the putout.
Nice play by Shaw. Had the awareness to hit the speedy Alfaro at second base. Must not have got a good jump, but I know the ball was bunted a little bit hard here. Let me see. Yeah, it's like a medium ground ball. I guess he's had plenty of time at second base. Arrieta's hustling down the line, though. No throw to first.
Now, I'm going to show you something after. Watch where Aguilar's playing. Now, it's a bunt situation. Why would you be playing back there? And why would Alfaro have such a small lead?
That's a good point.
That makes no sense. You're a bunt situation, run on first, no outs, pitcher up, and your first baseman's playing behind the guy.
I guess
Not
that
holding
means.
him on.
I guess that means the pitcher had the whole right side.
And especially with the left-handed pitcher, there's no way he can field that ball and turn and throw to second. Easier said than done. I couldn't bunt.
Interesting point. Can't get nothing by you, and that was you got to hold him on, right? Keep that force alive at second base.
And you have to play in, because as John, I mean, you're right, John. I didn't even think about that part. The left-hander pitcher's falling over to that side.
Well, yeah, I mean, how's he going to field a bunt if you bunt it toward the first base and he has to run over there and field? There's no way he can turn and throw. Like a righty can turn his body, catch it, glove side, and throw to second. How's a lefty do that? Backhand 360 or backhand turn?
Out of play, and it remains 1-2.
I don't know. Is Aguilar like a normal first baseman, or is
he is, but he doesn't move. I mean, he's a big guy.
I mean, it's just. It looks like they're making it the safest for him.
I would think that's the right way to put it.
Worst case, he'd have to be up with his feet on his toes on the grass, right? Past the cutout, in case he did push a bunt that way.
Yeah, and normally, like this situation here, even with Arrieta on air, you know, Jay can run a little bit. You know, be playing that far back. You know, and I'm not saying for Arrieta to run, but get a bigger lead. And a good secondary, try to beat it, you know, a grounder in the hole, try to beat it to second.
Well, Cesar's racking up a pretty darn good at bat right here. About 8 pitch at bat so far, isn't it? Something like that.
Yep, 8 pitches. This is number 9 coming in here. Just missed. 3-2.
Good take too, because that ball was coming around the plate.
That's a tough take too.
Oh, I hear you, but I mean,
you're hoping don't break, quit breaking, quit breaking, quit breaking.
It's that same old take, you know. If he bangs you on that, you're going back to the dugout. Well, I got to foul that ball off, but give yourself credit for an eye.
Off the hands, out towards shallow center. Long run for everyone involved. Arcia. This time, Kane can't pluck it out of the air. And the Phillies have runners on first and second.
What's he got in that glove?
I don't know if there's not.
Was that him yesterday, or was that second baseman?
No, that was him.
Got a little.
I mean, it looks like he tries to snatch it instead of catch it.
Do you think he
didn't. He just hit off the end of his.
Do you think he thought Kane was closer or something?
Probably.
He probably hurt him. But you know, now this goes back to the bunt.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that Alfaro would have scored on that because he'd had to hold, but he'd be at third base. They give that a hit.
They gave it a hit.
They're hot now.
Rhys Hoskins fouled out to right field his first time up. And that one's down the left field line. He'll be out of play. Here is yesterday. Arcia and Kane.
That one hit a little bit in his web. He should have caught that one. Today it hit in the pocket where it's a little harder.
They'll make them pay for it. Nice glove. Doesn't do well on pop-ups, though. Yeah, they had a play on there. Bijar was sneaking in behind Arrieta. Looked like Kratz wanted to throw and couldn't get the transfer.
Yeah, Kratz a little upset with himself. You could see by his reaction. In the air to left field. Braun going back. It is gone! Welcome back, Rhys Hoskins. The Phillies take the lead. It's 3-2 here in the bottom of the third.
Boy, that lineup looks a lot stronger with that name in there, doesn't it?
Even struggling, he's still a presence of what he did last year and what he did earlier this year. But yeah, that's that helmet's a keeper.
Still got it down on the end of the bat a little bit. Went out with no problem.
Yeah, I'm telling you, blessing in disguise is possibly with him being on the DL.
Cesar making contact with that 8-9 pitch at bat. Set up a run. And then the home run, a 3-run home run rather than a 2-run. Welcome back, Rhys.
So a 1-run lead. And now Odubel, whose average has dipped under 300. And it's 0-2.
Odubel's got some confusion going right here.
Pretty calm leg kick.
Yeah, but
You know, it's funny if you watched him rounding the bases on the home run. When he got about to second base, he looked out at the bullpen out there.
Yeah, they were all jumping up and down.
He gave him a little, whatever that sign is they use.
Hook 'em horns, I think.
Hook 'em horn.
That's, I mean, that's every Texas game I've ever seen. That's what they do.
Swing and a miss. So Odubel down on strikes for the second time.
How many did he have last night?
Yeah, check it out here. He's coming around first. Now he's looking out at the bullpen. Yep, there they go. That's pretty good awareness right there. Saying hi to the bullpen.
I didn't have that.
Me neither.
I was like, don't trip. Just don't trip. Stay on your feet.
Don't trip. Santana grounded out to shortstop his first time up.
A lot of things happened in that inning. His home run, Arrieta beating out that ball so they didn't have a throw to first base. Hernandez putting that 9th pitch in play.
Yeah, you know, you don't have to do much to defend a strikeout, but you put balls in play. Arcea misses a pop-up. That could have been an out. You know, who knows how this inning turns out, but now all of a sudden with Sutter, you know, it's now there's pressure. You know, if he catches that ball, okay, you got a runner on first, 2 outs, no big deal. Now it's like first and second, 1 out. Oh boy, you know.
Swing and a miss and a changeup.
Just, you know, you get runners on base, it changes the whole outlook for the pitcher. The nerves, the tension, you know, how he grips the ball a little tighter and it doesn't break as much.
How about that play by VR? Aguilar had no idea where that ball was, and VR was able to track it down and had it come a long way. Well, speaking of coming a long way, Wes Chamberlain is going to join us in just a little bit. And Rhys Hoskins is going to make this an even happier reunion with this 3-run home run that's given the Phils a 3-2 lead as we go to the top of the 4th inning. 1993 National League Championship against the Braves. I don't know how Mitch was able to get that to the strike zone. He was falling all over the place, but that's what he did. What a great celebration. That night, the stadium rocks. Veterans Stadium was shaking like you cannot believe. If you weren't there, just trust us, it was amazing. And part of that was one of the Phillies outfielders, Wes Chamberlain, who is here with us and is joining us in the booth as we begin the top of the 4th inning. Wes, what was like that running out? I mean, I know you tripped a little bit. Everybody was there to help you, but what was that like running out there to celebrate?
Hey, it's a good thing that I just kept my balance, but it was awesome.
Can you imagine if you'd have tripped and everyone had tripped over you? That could have been like typical of those idiots.
I don't know, Jake.
Can't get away with anything now.
That was great. Did you ever get your hat back? Your hat fell on the turf. Did you ever get it back?
I mean, who cares?
Well, we're celebrating the 25th anniversary. It does feel like it was just yesterday. I know that, well, for some of us, John doesn't remember what yesterday was like. But
I do. Long drive for no reason.
Oh, that is true. Here's Eric Kratz.
I tell you what, though, Wes, you know, we won games in a lot of different ways, and people didn't, you know, our offense was great. Our starting pitching was really good. Our bullpen was really good. You made some defensive plays in that series against the Braves. Threw out a couple guys. I mean, those were game changers.
Well,
you can talk now.
Well, thanks a lot, Jake. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we did, man. And, you know, I mean, hey, you know, Jake, hey, whatever it takes, man. And that was our attitude, our mental approach. And, hey, we knew, hey, that once we got into the clubhouse, we know once it was time to handle business, you know, we went out there and did it. I mean, it was, we didn't take no prisoners or put anybody else down. We was just, hey, 25 guys on one accord.
And speaking of that clubhouse, that was a goofy clubhouse, wasn't it, Wes?
No, I wouldn't call it goofy, man. I mean, no, it's not goofy.
I don't know. Have you been in the radio booth with that 90-year-old man over there?
I mean, that was routine, Tom. That's every day, man. I mean, it could have probably been goofy for you, but
it was. I was writing for the Trenton Times at the time, and I was backing up George King, and I was young at the time doing it, and I'm sitting there thinking, and you and Larry, as this will be a double play ball, you and Larry and Jeff Manto and guys like that, those were kind of the saving graces trying to get information. All right, this is what we call a quick inning, Wes, so we're going to keep you for the bottom of the 4th inning. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right, Wes Chamberlain will stay with us at the bottom of the 4th. We'll be back right after this. New Ford car, truck, and SUV crossover at buyfordnow.com today. Middle of the 4th inning, the Phillies on top 3-2. Aaron Altair will lead things off. We're spending some time with Wes Chamberlain as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the 1993 National League Championship.
Yeah, I just want to throw my 2 cents in on this whole fun clubhouse, crazy guys, and you know, leaders. You guys had 3 or 4 really strong leaders back then. Obviously, Darren Dalton being one for sure. And you, Life.
Life.
Jake Life.
Roger Mason
Is
called
it
me
Jake? Did I
Life.
hear Jake earlier?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, Jake. That's Dutch name for him.
Yeah. So they, remember the Blues Brothers?
Yeah.
John Belushi.
Yeah, sure.
My AAA manager started calling me that because he said I reminded him of Jim Belushi. I'm like, oh, good Lord.
Remind me of Meatloaf.
I like Meatloaf.
Roger Mason, Life.
No, all due
Mike,
respect.
Meatloaf.
I mean, I have a couple other friends that remind me of guys like that. No, nothing wrong with that. Anyway, you got to have you're together for 7 months, man, and you got to have some kind of that sort of animal house fraternity attitude in the clubhouse. You got to have fun, man.
That's right.
And I think that's one thing that's missing from today's game. They're also tucked into their iPads and headphones on, and there's not a lot of fun. I've been in there, and guys keep to themselves so much.
I'm guarded. They're guarded.
Wow.
We were unguarded.
Yeah, yeah, it was our clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, Mike, with the way you guys were in the 80s, and I mean, the manager always set the tone.
Yep.
But like you said, the leaders, it was Dutch, Lenny, Jake, that was it, and everybody else just, followed in order. And I mean, hey, when Dutch spoke, I mean, I guess you could say Jim Fregosi was the godfather, and Dutch was the
yeah. There is a little of that class system in there. You got to admit, right?
Yes, sir.
Like P. Rose was kind of the mayor, right? And then there was Joe Morgan and Tony Perez, and then Boa, myself. We were down here. We understood that because that was the big red machine that had come to our clubhouse. So you got to give them their due. But man, fun. We had so much fun in those years when we won. Wow.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about this a lot, but Jimmy Fregosi was the perfect guy for that team because I don't know if he didn't want to know what was going on out there. He didn't come out a whole lot. He would come out and say something every once in a while, just encouraging.
Cup of coffee in hand.
Well, yeah, and then sometimes he would call you in and say, he called me in a few times. Hey, you need to back off with so-and-so or so-and-so, you're getting a little tough on them. And Scotty.
Scott Kingery with a base hit to center field. Well, also, I mean, you guys know, the platoons in left field, right field, I mean, he had to manage that too, and he managed that. I mean, you guys all got your ABs.
And they all bought into it.
And you all bought into it.
And that's what it was. I can tell you at the end, when we finally clinched the division, I'll never forget when Vuk came and told me, we all celebrated, but as John Vukovic, he pulled me to the side and he was like, I'm so proud of you, young man. You really growed up, and that just brings joy to my heart from personal man to man. But then as, hey, following the lead, and hey, don't think that that you wasn't a key part, but you were. And so when you think of that, it's like a motor, you're part of an engine. And hey, you got to keep it fine-tuned, and that's exactly what our coaching staff was.
That doesn't work. It wouldn't have worked unless the 3 platoon situations bought into it.
Yes.
And those 6 guys bought into it. Yes. And it made us a better team because not only were they getting starting playing time, but when they did have to come off the bench, they had ABs. It wasn't like they sat for a week without any ABs.
Right.
And it was amazing how those 6 guys just said, you know what, whatever's best for the team, that's what we'll do. No complaining, no nothing. It was beautiful. And West, like Vuk said, he grew up in that because he was young. I'm sure he wanted to play every day, but he bought into it. And I think, of course, you start getting off to that great start. You think, oh, this will work.
Well, how big was that though, guys? When you guys were 17-5 to start the season, how big was that to get off to that kind of start?
Well, it was a key, but for us, it was a rollover from spring training. I mean, it was really like nothing. We weren't thinking about that. We just went in. Hey, we take today. We could get tomorrow. We take today, handle the day, and that's what it was. And some people might say it's old cliche or whatever, but hey, that's why we had fun because Dutch would say, hey, way to go today. No popping off. Hey, all right, we ain't finished.
Yeah, well, when we swept the Cardinals, after the second or third game of the series, we had one more game the next day. And one of the Cardinals guys was popping off like, when we leave here, we won't hear from the Phillies anymore. And, you know, we had some guys that could talk. And Dutch, after the game, you know, we're happy, celebrate, you know, let's get ready for tomorrow. But Dutch said, look, keep your mouth shut. Let the talk take place on the field. And that was huge for us because, trust me, we had some guys who could pop
That's what
off.
I meant about leadership.
Yes.
You know, that's definitely leadership. And, you know, I know Vuk is a coach, Dutch a player, but when Vuk spoke, people listened.
Exactly.
Everybody's always had tremendous respect for John Vukovic.
Yeah. Because he was there every day in our workouts.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like I said, when you come to that clubhouse, when you walked in that door, you locked in. You saw the lineup, you knew what was going, so that was the preparation. If you saw your name in the lineup, bam, let's go. If you saw your name not in the lineup, bam, let's go. I'm just saying, it was a routine. And like Johnny said, we bought into it, and hey, go get him, Isaac, go get him, Milt.
I think it was that mantra of what can I do today to help this team win, whether you're starting or not. And I think all 25 guys kind of bought into that, which is very rare because, you know, you make money by
putting up numbers,
more. Right? And guys sacrifice their numbers for the sake of the team, and it was just a special thing to watch how it played out for the entire season.
But Jake, I want to emphasize that brawl we had. You know, when I got hit in spring training.
Yeah.
But it was Smitty, it was like it was enough. You know, I mean, we got a lot of new guys in, but you know, we had the guys who was already there. But when I got hit, you know, and you know, they hit, you know, and it's like, dude, seriously?
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, hey, our whole dugout, and I mean, it was our whole team against I believe 9-0, just the people on the field, and then their team came out. But we weren't thinking about that. We was just like, hey, and you know, Smitty as a player, when they back you like that, hey, you literally lay down.
Yeah, and little things like that bring you together, man. They bring you together.
Well, Wes, it's great seeing you, buddy.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah.
Good seeing you, Wes.
We'll see you throughout this weekend. Wes Chamberlain, part of that
again.
1993 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. We celebrate this entire weekend, the 25th anniversary. Call 800-JEF now or visit jeffersonhealth.org. Three to two, top of the fifth inning. And Suter will lead things off against Arrieta. Got a first pitch outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Two balls, no strikes. Suter struck out his first time up.
The way Kane and Yelich are swinging it, the last thing you want to do is to put this guy on to start the inning.
See the frustration from Marietta as he threw that pitch. Well, you figure that Suter will be taking a couple here.
I don't know. He's got 2 homers. Might want to turn him loose. Or 1 homer. How many has he got? 1?
1 home run. Yep.
No, if he had 2, they probably turned him loose. 3-0.
The element of surprise. Outside corner. Boy, that was fortunate.
Needed that call.
Pitch gas presented by PJ Wheelahans.
Wow.
All right. Way out.
That's, you know, that's one of those pitches that in a 1-run game, they have the top of the order come up. That's one of those pitches, if he gets Suter out,
change the game.
Change the complexion of the game. 1 pitch.
3-2 pitch. And ball 4. So he does walk him. 2 fireworks shows coming up, brought to you by Xfinity here at Citizens Bank Park. Friday, June 29th, Saturday, June 30th. That's when the Nationals are in town. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Kane singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Outside, 1-0. He's fighting his command a little bit here. I mean, you can tell by his splits more than anything else. 37 strikes, 31 balls. Outside again, 2-0.
Well, you know what happens. You got a team full of good hitters. Pitchers tighten up a little bit. I mean, they want to make good pitches every time they let it go.
Percentage today of his pitches, 51% sinkers. A mixture of sliders and curves. Bouncer foul.
Wow.
Did that get a piece of his foot, or he just spit himself down?
Close to having a piece of his shoulder.
Yeah, it might be the combo.
How far inside this ball is. Yow. Pulled his hands in and tried to keep it fair. That's some back leg there.
Three balls and 1 strike.
That's a book rule strike.
Yelich is on deck.
Would that bother you, having that half the cup tore out as a hitter? Like if that was your bat, would you ever use it?
I had some cupped ends in my bat. Is that what you mean?
No, the one that he has using, the one that's broken.
Nah.
That would that bother you?
No, not if I had some knocks with that bat.
Oh, that would bother me to death.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I've used a broken bat in a game.
Really?
Yeah, you know, you might have a little.
Oh yeah.
Against JR.
Huh?
Against JR. You didn't want to. Didn't use any of your good ones.
Yeah, he is still using it.
Oh, there you go. I hear what you're saying.
The overpowering J.R. Richard.
It's like using an old ball on the first tee when there's water on the right.
Yep.
Runner goes. Pitch is pulled foul.
I do that all the time. I mean, I'm not knocking a brand new ball in the trees.
There's that bat.
Or in the water, you know. Yeah. That's not going to affect anything that bat does.
That's amazing.
It's old Betsy right there. Why get rid of that thing?
That's a very special bat.
It's authenticated.
Yes, it is.
I wonder if that sticker added some weight to it. Maybe that's why he only has 1 hit today.
Runner does not go. Pitch is pulled toward third, foul.
And this dude's some kind of a leadoff hitter, isn't he? He didn't lead off for Kansas City, did he?
From time to time, you put him up there.
Who, Escobar didn't? Alcides Escobar led off some.
He does have a .390 on base percentage. This year, He has led off 32 times. This is the 32nd time. Fouls it.
Tell you what, he made himself a really good player. He was
no
raw.
question.
When he first came up in Milwaukee, you could see the athletic ability, what he could do on a baseball field, but it was raw and it was not pretty at times. Then he went to Kansas City and things just fell into place, and he has gotten
a lot of good players around him.
Richly rewarded. Yeah, all those guys, Moustakas, Hosmer, Gordon.
Another one pulled foul. He was drafted basically because of his speed and athleticism. The Brewers thought, well, we can maybe make him into a player.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't start playing baseball till late in his high school career.
That is correct. He was a football player. Also played a little track. Ran a little track, I should say.
So he didn't get, burnout from all the travel ball and.
Over to shortstop. Be tough to turn two because of his speed. They get one and not able to turn the double play. 6-4 on the out at second base. So give us a chance to take a look at our minor league report. Citizens Bank, the official bank of the Phils. Lehigh Valley defeated Charlotte 2-1 yesterday. Brandon Liebrandt 4 2/3, 1 earned run. Reading lost to Erie. Jan Hernandez, a 3-run home run. Clearwater defeated Charlotte, and Lakewood lost to Greensboro. By the way, some bad news for Clearwater. Sixto Sanchez has been put on the disabled list with elbow inflammation. He'll have an MRI this week.
Oh boy.
And be reevaluated in a couple of weeks.
His elbows aren't good.
Nope. Phillies top pitching prospects.
They will take their time with that one.
No
sure.
question. There was some speculation that he might wind up going up to Double-A soon.
I got a feeling Kane's going to run here at some point.
I'd like to see that challenge.
Yeah. He's got a great lead. That might have been the one. 75-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
There he goes. He spun his wheels a little bit. Throw to second base is dropped by Kingery.
Did you notice that? That he's kind of like,
yeah,
spun. You called it perfectly. Kind of ran in place there for a split second, but he still beat it.
Tell you what, that was a dart though by Alfaro.
It was.
I mean, it was right on the money, and a tough pitch to throw on.
Might have got him.
He might have got him.
Did that
right
hit
off his
Kingery's
glove.
I can't believe I was looking at. Oh, that's right. The ball came out. I'm sorry.
Right there, hit him in the thumb.
He had him.
Wow.
So that's the 12th stolen base. Inside, 2-1. Alfaro this year is averaging over 90 miles per hour on his throws from behind the plate, which is tops in all of Major League Baseball.
How are they measuring throws from the catcher?
Just
they got a gun on that somewhere?
They have a gun. Well, they have guns everywhere now.
Oh, they do outfielders now, infielder. Well, Kiermaier last year, I think, threw a ball from center field to home at 100 miles an hour.
Something like that, yeah. So with StatCast, they watch everything, and they watch, the time the ball, what it is when he releases it. And it's tops by about a mile per hour. JT Realmuto's up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And now 3-2.
Milwaukee hitters are getting some good coaching, man. They all kind of keep their hands back, John.
Yeah.
You see a lot of guys jumping out, or by jumping out, I mean, not having confidence in their hands, waiting on the ball.
Darnell Coles is the hitting coach for the Brewers. There he is.
What do you think he's writing down there? Like every pitch, he's charting every pitch.
That's what I would think.
In this situation, a righty's going to throw you this more than. Wow, that's a lot of paperwork.
Well, there's so much available now that they can use.
More information. That's what we need. I don't know how we played the game 30 years ago.
Well, the thing is, when you watch these Brewers, is that they have a lot of them have athletic swings. Lorenzo Cain, Yelich, Braun. They're not that robotic. I'm going to swing the same at every pitch, no matter what it is. I mean, you saw Braun last night before he hit the homer.
Swing and a miss.
Reaching. Poking balls foul the other way, and then he gets a hanger and he turns on and hits a homer. But
this ball really runs away. That's a great pitch right there. We used to call that a screwball.
It does look like that.
What look like?
Tell you what, this young man right here, he knew that he could just poke home runs to right field in this ballpark. This style of hitting right here.
Their ballpark too.
Knows how many home runs
this ball flies in their ballpark too.
Little cat and mouse here.
Swing and a miss. Yeah, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, that ball had some wicked movement on it there.
I think with that fake throw to second, you see Arrieta, it looked like he was getting ready to hit the dirt with that cannon from Alfaro behind the plate. Alfaro popped up and Jake almost went down to his knees.
So now a visit between Alfaro and Arrieta.
When did they start covering their mouth? When somebody,
Greg Maddux.
When somebody read somebody's lips somewhere?
I don't know if anybody ever did, but I think John's right.
Greg Maddux. He never did it early, but after he's with the Braves for a few years, he always started covering his mouth. But I don't know. Is it the paranoia of someone reading your lips?
Maybe. 2-2. I mean, now there are cameras everywhere. I mean, who knows what you can see and what you can't see, but it is amazing that so many people do it.
Slider. Stroke slider.
Yeah. That's right, Rich. We're watching you. Swing and a miss. He got him. Tied him up with a sinker. 4 strikeouts for Arrieta. He leaves a runner in scoring position. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Phillies up by 1, 3-2. For when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families. Jim Constanti served at Sampson Naval Training Center in New York. Of course, pitched for the Phillies from 48 to 54. A 1950 All-Star and National League MVP. Man, he had some good numbers. 54 saves. They went back, you know, from a retroactive standpoint. 54 saves. Back then, they didn't really consider it that big of a deal to save a game like that.
And then it was not just one inning, right? He pitched the last three or the last two.
Yep. He was like Raleigh fingers.
Wow.
Here's Arrieta, and he takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, Goose Gotch has been outspoken about the whole save thing, and you know how many he had with 2 innings, 2-3 inning saves.
What's he mean? What do you mean by outspoken?
Well, you know, when guys were breaking record like Mariano, Trevor Hoffman, and then Mariano passed up Trevor. He was a little bit outspoken about, you know,
the fact that they're all 1 inning.
Not disrespectful at all to those guys at all, but he said it's just the closer role's different now.
Yeah.
You pitch 1 inning and that's it.
Yep. He pitched a lot of 6 out.
Cesar bunts it left side, bobbled by Suter, and still is able to throw him out. That's a good play to recover like that.
Yeah, it sure was. I thought there's no way he's going to get him once he bobbled it.
Phillies have asked for a momentary hold.
Good athlete Sutter. To still not panic and still be able to get him at first.
Yeah, right there. When he did that, I thought Suter, there was no chance he could get him. But he got him.
He'd have bobbled it a little bit, he wouldn't have a little bit more than he did. Guess he didn't panic. Most pitchers will panic in that situation.
Well, here's Reese, who homered his last time up to give the Phils the lead. Home run was his 7th of the year, 31 runs batted in.
That home run will relax his bat, his arm, so now he'll start keeping his bat back. Took all the pressure away. Now we'll just let it happen instead of forcing it.
Time now for our Nissan upgrade. Upgrade to the technology of tomorrow today. Most go-ahead home runs in the National League. Albies is first, but then Hoskins tied with Baez and Bryce Harper. Yeah, it's funny listening to the roundtable last night. Larry talking about Harper and all the home runs he's hitting. The fact that he's hitting in the 220s. I mean, that's amazing for him.
Yeah, he's too good a hitter to be hitting.
Too good at
220. But you still have to remember, he's only, what, 24, 25 maybe? When did you feel like, Michael, when did you feel like you were an accomplished hitter? Like, you know, I know I'm at this elite level.
Well, a lot goes into my mind before I answer that question. I felt like I was a complete hitter in my last 2 years, 86 and 87, which means nearly, yeah, Reese just missed that one. Nearly 14 years into my career. But after my first year where I hit .190.
You didn't feel accomplished?
No. The year after that, I felt pretty accomplished.
1-2-3 inning here in the home 5th. We go to the 6th. The Phillies on top 3-2. 20-year-old from the Dominican Republic. Nearly 7 years later, Sir Anthony Dominguez is taking the mound as one of the most confident relief pitchers in all of baseball. For the first 11 appearances since his debut on May 7th, the right-hander threw 13 2/3 innings, allowing 2 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, while striking out 15 of the 43 batters he faced. He can bring it in the high 90s. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Pretty good chance we're going to see Sir Anthony Dominguez at some point in today's ball game. As we begin the top of the 6th inning, 91st pitch for Arrieta, and it's just inside 1-0. He is just missing off that inside part of the plate. There's a curveball pulled foul.
I can't wait to see you, John. When that,
Mike, you want to come and pay us a visit that night?
When that heater comes shooting down there to you on one hop.
You don't want to come pay us a visit that night?
I'll be watching. I won't be here. You need to take your glove, brother.
I have to take 2 of them.
A couple of golf gloves, batting gloves. I just hope it's not cold for you that night.
I hope it is. It's going to be hot down there. When is it? June
19th.
Yeah, it's going to be hot.
Little tapper in front of the plate.
Comes
And
Alfaro.
Alfaro, zoop. No, he didn't put a lot on that one, but he still had enough to get him. I do like watching him throw. What a way. Let's check it with Murph, who was standing by with Danny Jackson. I wonder if DJ can still do that. He ripped it off yesterday. Can he still do it, Murph?
Well, I could ask him if he'd like to do that. Danny, they're wondering if that's something you can still do with tearing off that shirt.
Yeah, I could tear off the shirt, but I look pretty bad right now, to tell you the truth. It is something that that kind of came up, and I did a little bit yesterday, but I keep my clothes on most of the time now.
All right, we're going to keep our clothes on throughout this entire interview, but let's talk a little bit about that. You got in here yesterday. You got a chance to throw out the first pitch yesterday. Obviously, that's always fun to get an opportunity to do that in front of the crowd, and then, of course, get a chance to see your guys as well. There you are yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I got coaxed into doing that by Debbie, and actually my wife wanted me to do a little bit too. It says, oh, the fans want it, and I'm like, man, but look at the gut that I have right now after 25 years later, but that's just the way it is, and I know that the fans remember that more so than actually me pitching out in the big leagues, I think.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because I was talking to Roger Mason a couple innings ago and talking about his postseason experience when he got to Philadelphia. Talk about postseason experience. You had some. You had 2 World Series rings by the time you got to Philadelphia, and you joined this group of guys. And the best way to describe this group of guys was, well, they were a lot of fun. What was your thoughts when you got traded over here from Pittsburgh and you joined the group of guys in '93?
Well, it was great, to tell you the truth, and to be with this group of guys. This is one of the best teams I've ever played for, because it was a hard-nosed team. We played hard. And we did a lot of crazy stuff off the field, but then when we came back to play the game, we played it hard, and it was called hardball. And we talk about that today when we get back together, that the game has changed so much since we played. It seems like, okay, they're getting more off days, and then we laugh about it because they get nice grass fields, and we're playing on artificial turf most of the time, and they're crying about a little bit of dirt in their pants and all that, and that's just crazy, because you go on artificial turf and play for the years that we did, and it's a lot different with the heat and everything like that. And then we didn't have as many day games that they do now, the getaway games, so that they can get go home, get the rest, and all that stuff. And I'm like, hey, you just play hard. We take it both ends, and that's how you play.
Yeah, and at the time, you guys really weren't thinking about it. This was your job. You got to play Major League Baseball for a living, and you guys took advantage of it, both in terms of what you were able to do on the field, but in terms of having a lot of fun and having that camaraderie as well.
Well, and I think that's a big part of it, that chemistry that we had as a team, and then that chemistry that we had as a team filled over into the city, and the city saw what we were like, and they knew, hey, these guys are, a bunch of redneck guys or whatever they want to call us, and playing hard, and then the game that I remember the most is when we were late that doubleheader against San Diego, and you know, our fans, they emptied out because it was late, and then we started a game, and then after that, the fans from the bars started coming in and filling up the stadium again. Well, that's something.
Yeah.
You know, that tells you a lot about the camaraderie that we had with the city as well as ourselves.
And I think one of the things about that season is you remember moments like that, but it seems like every time you guys had a moment like that, you rose to the occasion. You give them a walk-off win at that point, because that's the only way to end a game like that late at night, right? I mean, you guys always seem to step up and make it happen.
Well, there's always one player coming up and big for us, and that's what you have to do as a team, and being a good team. You always have someone different coming up and helping you out in some situation. Ken Badis helped us out in a situation. Then Mitch hit that one home run, or that base hit to end the game. Then you had Mario and Duncan hit the home run, and then you had, you know, the dude and Crucky and all those guys come out and hit certain occasions and win the games for us. And then you had the pitching staff, you know, Larry coming in and throwing his sliders all the time and seeing that work all the way. And then you had Mitch Williams coming in, which, you know, we all got a little gray hair from ball 1, ball 2, ball 3, but then he went strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. So you just, hey, yeah, and that's what it was. Whatever worked, and it was great.
What's the best part about getting a chance to be around these guys? You'll see them from time to time throughout the course of the year, but I know you got a chance to talk to Larry and John last night in our office. Getting a chance to reconnect with the guys, what's the best part?
Well, that's what it is, reconnecting, and it's like we never left, you know, and that's what's so special about a team when you have that camaraderie that we had and the closeness and the chemistry. You never forget that, and when you take it to the World Series and win the playoffs, then that stays with you forever. And then when you come back here, it's like, okay, we're back in the clubhouse again.
And I think the best part, guys, in the city of Philadelphia is that as fans, it never left us either. We remember that '93 team like it was yesterday, and those were the memories that you got to build, and that's got to feel good for you guys as well, knowing that this city still remembers it, and that team is so beloved the way it is.
Yeah, it really is, and that's a tribute to the Phillies and what they do, because they bring us back, and then they let the younger generation remember what it was like when we were playing and know the history of the game. And I can tell you they do a great job of that and bringing us back, and it's really appreciative. Especially, I really enjoy coming back here, and I really thank the Phillies for bringing us back.
Well, it's always good to see you, DJ, and thanks for spending a couple minutes with us. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back to you in the booth.
All right, Murph.
That's a special man.
Yeah.
He was different.
He was good, too.
Oh, you know, it's funny because Darren and I were out at Ruth Chris downtown, and we ran into Fergosi and Lee Thomas. And they just gave us a list of 3 left-handed pitchers who were available. And Dutch and I didn't even hesitate. Get DJ.
Yeah.
He'll fit in. You know, he'll fit in with us. And we knew how difficult we had as lefties trying to hit that cutter and, you know, that hard slider he threw. So we thought he would help fit in and help us. And he really did, you know, just fit in so well with this team.
There it is again, ripping his jersey off, his shirt underneath.
He almost passed out a couple times doing that.
Sometimes it's probably hard to get those buttons to rip off. Kepler went out and says, "How you feeling?" And they always say, "I feel great."
Well, he's got 10 ground ball outs today. Unfortunately, the catcher's interference with Ryan Braun up, which has happened so many times this year for the Phillies, that enabled him to get on and erase a 2-strike count. And then the walk to VR, very close pitches. And now Kratz, who doubled and was hit by a pitch.
You know, you wonder.
Good double play man here.
Yeah, but I mean, you wonder if it was a different part of the order, if it was Lorenzo Cain or up, if they would have taken him out.
Might have, yeah.
Now, Kratz has a double today, so.
One ball, no strikes. And Kratz is hit by a pitch again, and that'll load up the bases.
And now you might see that.
It's pretty wild.
It is wild.
But I mean, same guy, same spot. Back-to-back at-bats.
Well, here comes Kapler now, so he's going to take him out.
Well, Jake ain't even looking at him right now. He's got his head down, and I think he's disgusted with himself more than anything.
All right, so Arrieta is done after 5 1/3. He leaves him loaded. So the bullpen will have a little heavy lifting coming in, as Luis Garcia will be the first one out of the pen in a tough spot with the Phillies on top 3-2 here in the top half of the 6th inning. So Jake was fighting his command most of the day. And we'll see if Garcia can get out of it here. Guys, here we go. What actor starred in both Field of Dreams and The Sandlot? He also was Darth Vader in.
We talked so much about other things. You said you were going to give us clues. He didn't give us clues, did he?
Well, I'm going to give it to you now. He was also Darth Vader, the voice of Darth Vader. He's got a real deep voice.
Oh, that's
James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
James Earl Jones. See, that was easy, wasn't it?
Well, after that hint,
log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of Phillies prize pack. He was great in both movies. Bases loaded. Arcia takes a strike, 0-1. Luis's numbers.
It's just going to be, I don't know, unless Arcia changes. That doesn't work. Leg kick and a bail. Not only his foot, but his body.
He definitely got a bail going.
Until he gets 2 strikes.
Grounded out and grounded into a double play. Be nice to have him hit into another double play. Ji-Man Choi is out of the on-deck circle.
Now he'll go back to that
modify
little step and then another little step and no leg kick.
And he went after it. Down on strikes. That's a big strikeout. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. That was sharp.
I'd say that was no contest.
I mean, you look at it. I mean, it's a great pitch by Luis with 2 strikes, but and it's a great to get ahead with 2 strikes. But I mean, you look at his back foot was sliding out, his hips were done, and I mean, if he threw that pitch middle in, he might have had a chance. And we've taken that swing. We've done that.
Sure. Well, but you two or the Phillies?
No, I have.
Okay.
I hesitate to bring up an all-star game.
Thanks for that.
Well, you only did it one time. I did it my whole career.
0-1 to Choi, who singled as a pinch hitter last night.
And yours was just a fun act anyway. If that was a real thing, you'd have roped that dude to left.
I don't know if I'd have done that.
Dude to left center.
I don't know if I'd have done that. It would have been a different at bat. Probably ended up in a strikeout, but different.
He went around, and it's 0-2. Stay nasty, Luis.
Blocked by Alfaro.
Yeah, he better be ready to block this one too. You got a feeling that split's coming again.
Yeah, that pitch is so effective in at bats like this. It's unbelievable. Hitters are anxious.
Well, yeah, but you have two guys that I think set up perfect for Luis. You have two guys at their lower half bails, and it's very difficult to hit anything off speed with great downward movement. I mean, watch Choi's lower half. It kind of pulls off and.
Checked his swing. Did he go?
Ooh.
Boy, that was close. No
Alfaro
appeal.
saves another run.
Nice job by Jorge.
Great call there about that pitch. Alfaro is going to have to block another one.
Tell you, there's been some lapses with Alfaro, but I think overall he's done a great job.
Great arm.
It's just like he's invested in every pitch, which as a catcher, that's what you want out of your catcher.
Pretty close pitch to take right there. That might have been a good ball to hit.
You see this guy come in to wing it.
Peter?
Yeah, he'll probably only come in if they take a lead, right? Because they have another lefty out.
Yeah, that could be it. They have Boone Logan up too. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Choi. Outside 3-2.
Well, in the old days, you'd get a fastball here. I have no idea what they'll do in this situation.
Brought at third, VR at second.
I don't know, but I mean, Odubel just probably took 20 steps. He was in right center when this at bat started. Now at 3-2, he moved about 20 steps into left field, towards left field.
Brian Braun's been out there for 24 hours, it seems like.
Runners go. Fly ball left field. Hoskins on the run toward the corner. It is gone. A grand slam pinch hit for Ji-Man Choi. And the Brewers take a 6-3 lead. What is up with these grand slams?
Yeah, amazing how these balls, Braun's yesterday, Choi's today, just find the 9 on the 329 pole. Karma, when things are going right, they are going right. When they're going wrong, that ball just barely foul. You got to give him credit for throwing that 3-2, kind of a, what was that, a split?
I think it was a fastball.
Seemed like it ran away a little bit.
It did.
Either that or he was running away, but golly.
So 6-3 Brewers. First career grand slam. Oh, 2. That has quieted things down here a little bit, hasn't it?
Go ahead, grand slams have a way of doing that.
Yeah.
It's not over.
Swing and a miss. Just blew it by Kane. And the inning is over. But the Brewers score 4 runs on the grand slam by Ji-Man Choi. We'll move to the bottom half of the 6th inning. The Brewers lead the Phils now 6-3. We'll be back after this. And by WB Mason. Who but WB Mason for fast free delivery? Nobody does it better. Boy, Ricky Jordan's arm is getting roasted by Jim Eisenreich out at the yard, but then Ricky will pay it back. Nice short swing. There's Mickey Morandini.
Mickey got to watch that hip. And he was out of the box. That don't count.
He used everything to get that ball out. Oh, there's a laser off Milt Thompson.
My son wants to go out. My son and daughter want to go out when they come up here in a couple weeks. They want to go out there and hit.
You want to have it me and you against those two?
We get beat.
John, all we have to do is make sure they don't hit it.
Yeah, that's good parenting. Let's go take some BP, but I'm not going to throw you strikes. I don't want you to get a hit off of me.
That's right. See, it's all competition.
We had a coach in minor league like that. He pitched in the minor leagues. He'd throw BP, and if you hit a couple balls hard, he'd throw at you.
Oh, Double down the left field line. And it's 0-1.
Flashbacks.
Well, this is a tough matchup for Odubel with Josh Hader on the mound. We've seen Hader before, but he's a different version of himself now because
shorter
he is
hair.
Well, and he is firing strikes. He was the reliever of the month in April in all of baseball. And it's no balls and 2 strikes.
All right, Odubel, come on, baby. Dig deep.
Mike, did you see his strikeouts per inning? 69 and 34 and a third.
No, I did not.
Yeah. It's
pretty good
dominant.
rate.
It's a really good rate.
The defense becomes a lot better when he comes in the game.
Swing and a miss. Odubel strikes out for the 6th time in this series. 3rd time today. And Carlos Santana is coming up.
Wow, this baby. It broke about 8 feet, right?
Yeah, and after throwing 95, 97, and then you get that.
Watch him tell me who this windup reminds you of. If you don't get it, I'll give you a hint.
Mitch.
It's identical, isn't it?
Except he doesn't land on his glove, but other than that, hey, no lie. You know that tough toe stuff they put on your strike?
Sure, oh yeah.
Mitch tried to get that for his glove. His glove would wear out. Watch this, like little tuck in like Mitch did, and then the elbow flying up and the hair, and if he just landed on his glove, it would be Mitch.
He kept wearing out his glove. 0-2 to Santana.
So he's the middle reliever, huh?
I think he comes in where they think that they need something shut down.
Shutdown reliever. That's a good name for it.
I think that's smart. You know, this. You know, the closer's your best reliever. We're only going to use him in the 9th. What happens in the 7th if it's important? 9th inning might be nothing. Your offense might score 5 more runs.
Right.
You don't know. Now watch this. Everything's the same. Now watch the glove, though. I mean, that's quality mechanics right there. If you're teaching youngsters at home.
Nice balanced field the ball when it comes back to you.
Yeah. Well, he got took a 100-mile-an-hour off the head once. Jeff King for the Pirates.
Jeff King.
Yeah, Jeff King.
Jeff King hit with 100 mile an hour, he said, off his temple, and he wanted to stay in the game.
Sounds like Brett Myers. Myers had that happen at, I think it was a Wrigley Field.
What would he be clocked at with today's guns, you think, Mitch? Above average?
Well, I'll tell you this. When he was in the minor leagues, we lost him to Rule 5 to Texas. We played an exhibition game right before he left. You know, got taken by the Rangers. And Bruce Bochy was catching. Now, you got to remember, Bruce caught Nolan, JR, all those guys. When Mitch threw to him in spring training game in Las Vegas, he said that's the hardest throw he's ever had to catch.
Wow.
I had to take BP off of him once in spring training, Michael. Oh. You know, you turn around a bunt, it's scary. Threw it out of the cage. Twice.
That's when they were getting ready. The pitcher's part of it early on. Oh, everybody.
Well, he was only
that.
17. I mean, he was like Greg Maddux then compared to there.
And that was back when we kind of challenged ourselves to hit the ball against the pitchers.
Yeah.
Now they can stand there and watch the pitchers pitch.
But so Doug Rader was a coach on the field that day, that minor league camp, and he said, you know, hey, forget the bunt, just hit and run. I'm like, at what?
You swing over your head or
nice grab.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. See, now that young lady is going to be me, and that guy better be Ben, protecting me.
Bouncer left side. Arcia. And there are 2 outs. Business owners, whether your team is in the corporate, education, or medical field, HP's page-wide technology offers the best of cost of ownership in class. And your dedicated WB Mason driver will deliver your printer wherever you want. Nobody beats WB on HP. Well, 2 outs, and here's Altair. And he pops it up. Kratz over near the Phillies dugout. And makes the catch. Well, he got to the spot. Concentration. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. We've played 6. We're on to the 7th inning. Phillies down 6-3. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda dealers game summary. Well, the Brewers put a 4 spot up in the top of the 6th thanks to a grand slam by Ji-Man Choi. It was a pinch hit grand slam. So Jake Arrieta goes 5 1/3, 4 hits and 5 runs, 4 earns, 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. And now we go to the top of the 7th inning. Suter's the pitcher record on the winning side. Adam Morgan will take over here in the 7th. And he will face Christian Yelich. Yelich today is 1 for 3. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Yeah, it's the only thing you can hope for. You got bullpen. That's to keep it there. Give your offense a chance.
Right. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. And a line drive base hit to center field for Yelich. Now that's his 2nd hit of the day, 4th hit in the series.
Cardinal sin, as you'd say, giving up that 0-2 base hit, probably trying to waste that ball low and away, and he left it up over the plate, and his good hitters will hit it somewhere. 0-2 count. Got to bounce it once or twice.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing if your hitter is watching what Yelich did with that. Just serve it up the middle. Don't try to pull it. Don't try to jerk it out of the ballpark. Just put it in play. And
yeah, I mean, it's good hitting. Chances. I mean, sometimes that pitch works, sometimes it doesn't. You can freeze a hitter on a slider that's thrown at his front shoulder. But the better pitch, and I imagine that's what it was supposed to be, was something in the dirt, low and away.
Swing and a miss, a changeup, and it's 0-1. Aguilar is 1 for 3. He hit a 2-run home run his first time up.
That's one large human being.
I'm telling you, walk past him and think he's a football player. 0-2. Every time a Phillies pitcher reaches 95 miles per hour or more, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia. And a liner out to left center field. That's going to be in for an extra base hit. Well, it's going to mean another run for the Brewers, which is not what you want. And it's now 7-3 Milwaukee. It's a double for Aguilar.
Another 0-2 pitch. I think that was a fastball low and away. There you see it. Wow, look at the head down on that ball. Got some fastball, got a piece of the plate. He's got some serious plate coverage with those arms.
How about the swing on?
Oh, it's beautiful. He's got a little Ryan Braun style in his swing too. You know, he kind of
knocked down.
Yeah, nothing swing. A little protect the plate swing.
Well, still nobody out. Here's Shaw. Shaw's 0 for 2 with a walk, and he bunts toward third. It's foul. And it's 0-1.
Many times you see your fourth hitter with a runner on second, no outs, bunting, but again, it's.
I'll tell you what, I like that play.
I do too, because there's no one up in the bullpen. You know, now will it take the bat out of Braun's hand though? If he does, with VR coming up afterwards, but you know, the goal is to get
Check swing.
I'm all about that one extra run from the Brewers.
Yeah, a grand slam can't tie it. If they can get Aguilar in. Nice.
Oh, those screens are beautiful things. Screens over the dugouts. Can't even see them. By the way, Yelich was picking them up and putting them down.
He can move. He's a good athlete. Now that one gets by Alfaro. And Aguilar didn't go initially, but now he does. And barely picking him up and putting him down. That'll be the 7th pass ball for Alfaro. Do you think he was crossed up?
He looked like he was waiting for the ball to make a turn, right?
It looked like he was looking for a cutter, slider, and got a two-seamer. It looked like, but yeah, I think Alfaro took for granted that Aguilar was running because he didn't run back the screen. And after Aguilar saw Jorge
slowly
go after the ball, that's when he decided to take off. But
and that one gets by again, and it's not going to allow a run to score.
Good base running. I'm sure that coach told him. You got a brick wall back there. Ball can bounce right back to the catcher. And nobody out. You don't go unless you know you can make it. By the way, standing up.
I mean, that. That would have went behind a righty.
It probably would have. Stays alive. It remains 3-2.
So here's one of these at bats. If you look up at the scoreboard here at the stadium, you see 39 RBIs, 14 home runs. He wants this RBI.
Broke his bat back to the mounds. And the throw is high, and thankfully Shaw wasn't running.
There you go.
So they're able to get him out.
A little bit of everything this inning, John. We're happy about that, but we harp on that all the time nowadays. I tell you what, that just goes to show the fans out there, the young players, the kids out there watching this game, what can happen if you don't hustle. Automatic out. Everybody thinks he turns, he picks up the throw, he throws it high, and he would have been safe, but now he's out. Look at that. I'm out. Oh, what the heck, I don't have to run.
He nearly stopped and did a right turn. All right, so now Braun's up with the infield in. At a pitch low.
And again, too, not only did they record it, did the Phillies record it out because Shaw wasn't hustling, a whole different at bat for Braun if he's on first base. First and third, I'm assuming they're going to pitch around him. Be my guess.
Inside, 2-0.
Well, not by that pitch. That looked like a fastball. You wouldn't be throwing that in there if you were pitching around him, would you?
I would think not, but.
Well, that's the old deal. We don't want to put more men on base because we're down 7-3 now. Make them earn their way on base.
2-1. Phillies do now have bullpen action. Popped him up. Foul territory.
Stay in.
And off the roof of the dugout.
Played by J.P. Crawford there, running to cover home plate since nobody was.
Taylor Williams in the Brewers bullpen. Ramos in the Phillies bullpen.
I don't know, John. How about pitching to Braun in this situation? I mean, hindsight's 2020. We don't know what's going to happen here, but whew, it's a tough call by the manager.
Inside.
I mean, you know, as many runs and hits as they've gotten in this series, Villar has yet to get one. Now, he walked his last at bat, but you know, he hasn't done like he's been scorching the ball.
Well, this pitch right here will tell you how much they want to pitch to him.
And a line drive base hit it to left field. Another run will score. An RBI for Braun. It's his 6th RBI of this series.
That's a free one.
Well, you said in the opening that he'd drive in a run today.
Well, I was just facetiously saying.
Oh, I know.
It's 68 for 68.
Yeah.
Did I say that in the opening?
You did.
Yes. You said it. It wouldn't surprise you if he drove in a run today because he gets one a game against the Phillies.
Well,
average.
Yeah, it's basically going on what his average stated on the screen there.
Well, and still just one man down here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, he's been around too long. He's too smart a hitter. He's setting all over off speed 3-2 because he had to figure they're probably not going to give me a fastball to hit. He got something off speed. I don't know if that was the changeup or the breaking ball, but whatever it was.
I think he was a little surprised that the Phillies pitched to him when he arrived at first base.
Yeah, he didn't miss it.
Swing and a miss, 0-1.
Be darned.
That's why they cover their mouths.
Yeah.
So, like, do you believe they pitched to me?
Yeah.
So he comes here. Before he comes here, he says, "I can't wait to get to the next series because it's against the Phillies."
Right.
And then he says, "I can't believe that they're pitched to me there."
Or as you guys said, down over the right-hander.
Well, I mean, I consider that a big run.
Sure it is.
7-3.
This is going to be even a bigger one. 2-run home run, and Villar has now made this a 10-3 ball game. That's his 5th home run of the year. He now has 20 runs batted in, and it's 10-3 Milwaukee. And Eric Kratz is coming up. And here comes Gabe Kapler out to the mound.
I'll tell you why, why you go back to the issue that we were kicking around. And I know we're not always right, but from our perspective, the one little thing you never would think about is you might be helping him more by taking him out of the game, bringing a right-hander in to pitch to Braun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Rather than let him totally lose his confidence.
Right-hander coming in now. The Phillies down 10-3.
Could it be? Could it be? It is out of here! Number 400 for Jim Thome. Phillies have tied the game in the first, and take a bow, big man.
Join us at Citizens Bank Park as we celebrate Jim's induction into the Hall of Fame with a pregame ceremony prior to the Rockies game at 1:05 on Thursday. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Eric Kratz to face Ramos, and it's 1 ball, no strikes to Kratz, who's been hit by a pitch twice today and has doubled. In there, and it's 2-1. .81 ERA for Ramos. Nick Williams, by the way, comes into play right field as part of this double switch. Williams will bat 4th next inning. He's in the 9-hole. 2-2. There's Nick. So Altair is finished for the day.
Double-digit games are coming back to haunt us.
They sure are.
And I'm not talking about just their runs that the opponents are scoring, the double-digit strikeouts and only 6 today, right?
6 today. Two balls and 2 strikes to Kratz. And a fly ball left field, not deep. Hoskins is over. And he makes the grab for the 2nd out. And that'll bring Arcia to the plate.
While we got a second here, just wanted to mention a good friend of mine, Mark Carfagno, who more commonly known around here as Froggy. Big Dick Allen fan, wanted me to mention that tonight Dick Allen along with Eddie Murray, J.R. Richard, Kenny Lofton, who you all know, and Mudcat Grant are going into the Negro League hitter, or the Negro League Hall of Game, it's called. You know, it's the Hall of Game. Pretty special for the Negro League to have this induction tonight. Very happy for Dick and the other guys that I know on in that group.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the Negro League Baseball Museum established the Hall of Game in 2014, and it honors former MLB legends who competed with the same passion, determination, skill, and flair exhibited by the heroes of the Negro Leagues. As Arcia singles to right center field.
Hard for a guy pulling off the ball like that to shoot one to right, isn't it?
This game's confused me more and more every day, Michael.
Hernan Perez will pinch hit for Hader. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Hader only had 1 strikeout in his 1 inning of work.
Yeah, we showed him. That number's going down, isn't it? Strikeouts per inning.
Breaking ball, 0-2. 2 outs, top of the 7th inning. The Brewers have added 4 runs in this inning after scoring 4 in the 6th inning. They have busted this game wide open. And that ball gets by Alfaro. And up to second base goes Arcia. This has turned into one of those sloppy games again.
Yeah, it's crazy. They got to get together on their signs or something. I don't know if I've ever seen so many balls Wild pitched or missed. Well, that's a tough one there. I mean, he did everything he could to block that ball.
I feel your pain, brother.
I was gonna say, it's that kind of day these last couple innings. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Fouled away. Popped him up, and it'll be out of play, and it remains 2-2. Another pop-up foul, and again to the crowd.
What's a pitching matchup for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, nice grab there by that cat. Zach Eflin on the mound for the Phils. Brandon Woodard is on the mound for the.
He was good his last start, right, Eflin?
First start in Chicago.
Yeah, he was a lot of swing and miss
first
stuff.
game.
Yep. Brandon Woodruff is 2-0 with a 6.05 ERA for the Brewers. Eflin 2-2. Shortstop side. Kingery says he has it, and he does. And the side is finally retired. 39 total pitches in that inning. Another home run. A couple RBI base hits. Time to stretch. Phillies down 7. Show us where you're streaming your favorite baseball team. Send us your best pictures using the hashtag #AuthenticFan. Taylor Williams is the new pitcher. He just hopped off the bottom of the mound. Travis Shaw is sitting. Now, you don't know if it's because of that ball that went back toward the mound that he did not run for.
Guarantee it is.
Wow, I mean, he didn't get hurt. unless it's just giving him a couple innings off for tomorrow. But you know, when he showed Craig Counsell in the dugout, and he has, you know, he got a big lead in the game, and he got his head down, rubbing his forehead, like and you know, it's not old school, new school. It's just, you know, I understand the numbers and the shifting and all that's new to a lot of us, but that is one thing that should never ever grow old for the game, or you know, pass up to what the game is about.
That's him right there.
And his dad played.
He learned a heck of a lesson right there.
His dad played in the big leagues, and you know.
Kingery takes a strike, 1-1.
John, there's 30,000 people here today that most of them saw that. Kids saw that. I don't know how many fathers in the stands here reacted to that. Said, "Son, did you see that? That's a major league player. Do you believe that?"
Yeah, that's not the way the game is supposed to be played.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You know, more power to Craig Counsell if he did remove him from the ball game for disciplinary reasons as opposed to a 7-run lead. And you know, I know he's having a heck of a year, 40 RBIs and
a
bunch of home runs. But what, you know, you got to draw a line somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, and you know, they're in first place, and their goal, of course, you know, with the additions that they made in the offseason, is to play in October. And that's not the right way to go about it. Sorry.
Half-game lead over the Cubs. Cubs are on top of the Pirates right now in the 5th inning, 2-0.
Put it this way: if he'll do that to if that's the reason he took him out, and he'll do that to a veteran player, you don't think these young kids are going to look at that and say, "Uh-oh."
Out to right field. And 1 out here in the 7th inning. They'll bring J.P. Crawford to the plate. You know, watching Williams walk around the mound, on the back of the mound, he's not a big guy, but he's got a pretty good arm.
Yeah, he's getting it up there, 95, 97.
32 strikeouts in 23 1/3. We mentioned yesterday that the Brewers bullpen is first in the league in strikeouts. They came in to this series with 268 strikeouts. 1 ball and no strikes to J.P. Crawford. Fouls it back toward the Hall of Fame club. Nice catch. MLB At Bat is your #1 Philadelphia Phillies app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get the Phillies home screen icon and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today. Crawford lines it to right field, but it's right at Yelich. Yeah, there are 2 outs. And Jorge Alfaro is coming up.
JP hit the ball hard a couple of times today. I think he lined out to the same spot his first time up. I tried to bunt for a base hit in the middle there.
Alfaro has 1 hit today. He's 1 for 2. This is only his 3rd time up. Had a pitch in there. It's 0-1.
That's a pretty good slider right there.
Well, besides the 3-run inning,
it's true.
Not like we've strung a bunch of hits together and left men out there. That's never fun. The guy's throwing 96, 97. He's throwing fastballs, and the first pitch to he's a breaking ball. And the second.
I'll get another one.
I've admitted all along that hitting is much tougher today than it was when we played.
Without question.
Much tougher.
He went on a breaking ball, and that'll wrap up the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies here in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's an 11-pitch inning. We'll head to the 8th. 10-3 Brewers. Hurry to your local Delval Honda dealer. Visit DelvalHondaDealers.com. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Phillies are down 10-3 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game. Early on, there were some pretty nifty plays over at third base.
Yep, JP's made 3 of them. That's a nice play from an old shortstop, making that, as John said, circling the ball, so he's got a good angle to throw to first. Nice job, JP. And that's your defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. And that's a good car, that Hyundai.
There's a pop-up over to the right side, and Santana is under it, and 1 out. And that'll bring Christian Yelich to the plate. He's 2 for 4, 4 for 9 in the series. Oh, and 1. Tommy Hunter was on top of the mound out in the bullpen a few moments ago, warming up.
Is that him still out there standing?
I think that's still him.
Can't tell.
Yes, that is him.
Okay.
And another base hit for Yelich.
That's some good hitting right there. Line drive to first at bat against Arrieta to left field. Line drive there to center field. Quality hitting. Fastball right down the middle. Fastball right down the middle.
2 fastballs in 1 play. One at 94, the other at about 99. Sadly, the 99 was for them and not us.
Aguilar has 2 hits today and has 3 RBIs, a home run and a double. Eric Sogard is out of the on-deck circle. Breaking ball, and it's 1-1. There's Tommy Hunter. And Dan Jennings in the bullpen for the Brewers. How good were the Brewers to start the year? They won 6 straight series to end the month of June. Softly to the right side. They still could turn 2. But they go to first because they felt like they couldn't get Yelich at second. 4-3, 2 outs. And Sogard is coming up. A reminder, the Powerball will be $105 million. You can get that on Wednesdays and Saturdays. The Mega Millions, you can't see it there, but it's 144. And that's Tuesdays and Fridays. Good luck if you decide to play. Here comes Tommy Hunter, and he'll take the mound as Ramos will exit here in the top of the 8th inning with 2 outs. Phillies down 10-3. We'll be back right after this. A pitching change here in the top of the 8th inning. And Tommy Hunter will take over with an ERA of 4.20. And he'll face the pinch hitter, Eric Sogard. Left side, and J.P. Crawford is
Good job,
under.
Tommy.
One pitch, and the final out is recorded. No runs, one hit, and one man left. We move on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Phillies will have Nick Williams to lead it off. The New York Yankees on Monday, June 25th. That's a 3-game series. All 3 games are at 7:05. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Here we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And the new pitcher is Dan Jennings for the Brewers. And Jennings will face Nick Williams, who will lead it off. Two innings, 6 hitters, 6 retired for the Brewers bullpen. Lefty on lefty. And Williams takes a breaking ball just a bit inside. And 1 ball, no strikes. Swing and a miss. Jennings has recorded 7 strikeouts per 9 innings of work. He's walked nearly 3, though, per 9 innings of work. A little high. And a foul tip, and it's 1-2. Finished the line on Ramos, an inning and a third, 2 hits and no runs. One ball and 2 strikes to Nick Williams. Swing and a miss. Williams strikes out. That's 3 strikeouts now for the Brewers bullpen, and 7 up, 7 down.
Nasty slider low and away. Boom. Got to try to guard the plate. And then
Nick shaking his head. It's been a frustrating day, at least over the last 3 innings. The Phillies haven't managed anything defensively, I should say, on the mound, or offensively. Here's Cesar, who is 1 for 3 with a run scored. Takes a fastball at the knees. Outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Eric Kratz back there flashing the signs. Had some good times with Eric back when he was with the Phillies. Very interested in talking about hitting all the time. Good defensive catcher.
Excellent arm. He's always pretty calm behind the plate too when he's catching balls and strikes. One ball and 2 strikes to Cesar. And a little low, 2-2. Two.
I would bet Cesar Hernandez sees more pitches than any player in baseball.
He's up there. He's up there in walks too, and on base percentage.
So you got to count in the fact that he's a leadoff hitter and he gets 5 ABs a game. And
he plays every day. 374 on base percentage.
That's way up from last year.
His numbers are continuing to trend upward. You know, you look at guys sometimes and their numbers trend down. His are trending upward. Three balls, 2 strikes. Outside ball 4. So he draws the walk. Aboard for the 2nd time. That brings Reese up, who has provided the only spark offensively.
And he just missed another one. I don't know if his
first time up, he flew out to right.
Yeah, his last at bat, though. Remember, he hit off the end of the bat, just missed it.
Reese can cover a lot of ground when he gets hot, as we've seen.
There's a liner out toward right center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Hoskins' 2nd hit. Well, the Phils need some kind of boost. I mean, they're 4-10. coming into this game. You know, hopefully he can get off the disabled list and do this on a consistent basis.
And you know, I want you to think back about before he got hurt, he went into a really long, you know, bad spell. I don't want to use the word slump, but before he got hurt, right? His batting average dropped 60, 70 points. I didn't see one hit like he just got right there through that whole period.
That's a good point.
Right?
Well, here's Odubel talking about somebody that's got to get himself going. 13 for his last 75, a 173 average.
He's going with the natural finish bat for this one. Didn't he use black bats for the first?
Well, I can't remember the last time he's using the natural finish bat.
Well, somebody might have said, hey, man, try this. Yeah. Try my bat.
It might have been a pitcher. There, yours ain't working. Here, give this one a shot.
Hit sharply. And they'll turn to double play. 4-6-3. And the inning is over. No runs, one hit, and one man left. Philly struggles continue offensively. We'll go to the 9th inning with the Brewers on top 10-3. Two night games and then the day game where we honor Jim Thome. You can get tickets for that series against Colorado by going to Phillies.com. We told you this is a tough stretch of games for the Phillies.
The good thing is the Rockies can't hit, so
somehow the Diamondbacks, though, still lead the West, despite the fact they have the lowest team batting average in the National League. But they're still a game and a half up in the division. In the West. Here's Braun, and he fouls the first one back. It's 0-1.
Yeah, that Charlie Blackmon's no good. That Arenado kid, you know. Yeah, I guess he'll figure it out someday, they hope.
Yeah, especially at third.
Yeah, he struggles there. Not a very good hitter.
He's
either.
best ever. I mean, he doesn't have. I mean, if he continues on the pace he's on, he's going to put numbers up as a third baseman plus Gold Gloves. Look at this line shot.
Line drive to right. Williams can't get it.
Uh-oh.
Braun does not run all that well, but this one is going to get to the corner. He's going to get at least to third base on that one. And Ed Cedar will hold him up. It'll be a triple. His first of the year.
See, you can't hit a line drive like that with an uppercut swing. That is a bullet the opposite way, and you can't uppercut the ball and hit the ball like that. It just goes to show you. Watch this. See that? That's down through the ball. That's how you produce line drives, hitting down through the ball.
Wow, right off the tip of Nick's glove.
Yeah, I tell you what, that was a heck of an effort too.
Sure was.
You know, 10-3 game. The easy thing would have been to back up, play it on a bounce, cut it off, try to keep Braun in a single, but that's not the way he plays.
We're giving him some firsts. First multi-home run game yesterday since 2016. First triple since last year. As VR, who homered his last time up, whacks it foul, and it's 0-1.
That's a big statement for you.
What's that?
To say
I would
that
agree with that.
Arenado, the great, could be will probably end up being, if he continues on this pace, the greatest third baseman ever. Because most people, myself included, think that's you.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
I hope that didn't.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, you know, Brooks Robinson was the greatest defensive third baseman ever. And George Brett, to this point, is probably the greatest pure hitter ever.
Yeah, but you could do both.
And
not that they couldn't.
I hit some home runs and, you know, won some Gold Gloves, and a lot of people say what you said, and I'm flattered and honored for you to say that. But just check this kid's numbers.
He's amazing.
Plus, he's a human highlight film defensively at third base.
And you know, everyone said, well, it's in Colorado. But his splits are really good on the road as they are at home. But, you know, he can't help where he plays. Right?
And they're smart to keep him for a long time.
Oh, they better. That's a franchise player.
Last 2 years, he led the league in home runs and RBIs. We've had this discussion in the booth before, right?
Yeah.
And didn't win the Gold Glove.
I don't remember who. He didn't win the Gold Glove at third?
No, excuse me. I mean the MVP. I'm sorry.
No, he did not win the MVP. He did not win the MVP.
Yeah, and
right.
I think it's a lot of the voters think that because he plays in Colorado, the numbers are skewed. But you know, there's ballparks now that are as good a hitter's ballparks as Colorado is, right? This one's one of them in the summer.
Arizona. Swing and a miss by Kratz, and it's 0-1.
When you say this one, meaning this one?
Yeah.
Oh, what could be better than this one? Cincinnati. They're all in the same bowl, right? Cincinnati, yeah. Colorado, here. The only ones I mean, I don't know them all, to tell you the truth, but
well, even
in Washington, big.
Even Atlanta's new ballpark, the ball does jump too towards certain areas.
Mets is fairly big, right?
Yes.
Miami.
Miami's a fair ballpark. Petco is smaller than it used to be, but it's still fair. No balls at 2 strikes.
And that's what, you know, you look at it. San Francisco in their division. San Francisco, Dodger Stadium, Petco, right? 3 ballparks that aren't great hitters' ballparks. He plays a boatload of games in there, and he still puts up huge numbers.
Yeah, but you know, we're talking about crazy numbers, 40 home runs, and
little tapper back to the mound, kick by Tommy. He's got no play at the plate, and he throws it past or off the glove of Santana, and up to second base goes Kratz. I don't think that Santana expected it to be that hard. It went right off his glove.
First of all, that's why you go on contact from third with 1 out. You need a little bobble by the pitcher, you score. There's a replay going on contact, Braun. That's going to be a close play at home if he makes this play cleanly, which he doesn't.
That's scary as a first baseman.
That's a handcuff and a half right there.
And I don't think Tommy thought he was that close to first base. I wouldn't think.
Well, in the major leagues, that's got to be made by somebody, that play.
Yes.
It's an easy play for you as a left-handed first baseman.
Garcia takes. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Garcia's making a move toward that dugout on these pitches, is he not?
Yes.
Someone tell him first base is the other way.
Yeah, I don't think he's under that theory that, you know, look away and react in. I think he's looking in and hoping they throw it there.
Able to get the bat on the ball there, 2-2.
They give that error to
Tommy Hunter.
Tommy Hunter.
You are intent on making this the perfect
I'm telling you,
scorecard.
I might autograph this thing and see what I can get for it.
Looks pretty clean. Floater out to short right, and here comes Williams. There are 2 outs, and Perez will come up to the plate.
I know I have a mistake on here or two. The pitching substitutions and the hitters on the Milwaukee side, but I'm down on the Philly side.
Though. Yeah, you're close.
This is Grand Slam Perez, right? See if I got this right.
No, it was Choi that hit the grand slam.
Excuse me. It is Perez, right?
That's right.
Okay, I'm good.
It's the spot, though.
Tell
You got the right spot in the order.
Pretty sad when that's the only thing we have to look forward to is Michael's scorecard.
As I told John, I've never kept one of these clean for 9 innings, let alone a golf scorecard. On a card, I try and I try and I try before I forget a hole, and I can't do it.
Well, have you noticed that a lot of golf courses now, the pencils have erasers? Oh, right? So remember when they didn't have erasers and you messed up and like, what do you do? Scratch it out, then it's a mess.
It's all the honor system.
How about the young lady in, I forget what state, lost the individual and the team state championship because she called a penalty on herself.
There's a line drive to center field, another run, and Perez will get an RBI. An unearned run crosses the plate. And this is just a whipping right now. 12-3.
So getting back to my story, to take away from this thrilling game. Apparently that hit right there is driving the crowd away. There are a lot of them leaving.
Yeah, it's funny. You got to hand it to them for sticking around.
I guess 8 runs we had a chance, 9 it's over. Plus it looks like it's going to rain, which that would be fun too.
Yeah, it looks like it's raining a little bit right now. Kane lines it down the right field line.
But she marked down a 4 on the 18th hole, and she had a 5. Signed the scorecard and then realized she made a mistake. She went to the high school, whatever, you know, and told him, I made a mistake on my scorecard. I should get penalized. And she was disqualified, which means she lost her match, and she lost the team match for her team because of that, because she was their last player. And Jack Nicklaus said something out on social media like condoning her for being a great sportsman, honorable.
3 unassisted. And that will do it here in the 9th inning. A little bit of a mock cheer from the crowd. 2-run score. It's 12-3. Brewers last chance for the Phillies.
Choi and battle, and they won the battle. So that basically put the game out of reach for the Milwaukee Brewers. That's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. Pinch hit, grand slam.
Got some rain coming down, boys.
You think?
As we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, Carlos Santana will lead it off. Michael Franco is in the on-deck circle.
All right, Boone Logan needs a ball, people. He needs a ball. We can't play without the ball. There you go.
This could get ugly.
Oh, boy.
I mean, the weather.
Just a squall.
It's a what?
A squall, just quick moving.
Is that what we're going to go with?
Yeah.
The squall?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not raining in Boston. I was watching a Red Sox game up there. So we might have some time.
It's side, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brewers took a 2-0 lead, and then the Phillies had a 3-run home run by Rhys Hoskins in the 3rd. Took the lead. And then it wasn't until that grand slam Garcia was close to getting out of it. He had struck out RC with the bases loaded, and then had a 3 balls and 2 strikes to Choi. And then a fastball ran toward the outer half, and Choi was able to poke it into the seats inside the fair pole. As Santana fouls it off to the right.
Good to get a piece of that one. That was a nasty little sinker, low and away. Said it before, and I'll say it again, John. Every at bat counts.
Yes, indeed.
Floats that one out to left field. Braun coming in and can't get it. It slides past him. Santana's on his way to second. He'll get there with his 15th double of the year. And Michael Franco will be the hitter. Hitting for the pitcher.
Tell you what, Braun, I guess, needs to be commended for his effort. But for me, with a 9-run lead, I might have backed up on that ball and let him have a single. What do you think? You risk a wrist injury, a shoulder injury.
Look at that vibration. You ever wonder why our fingers hurt all the time? Yeah, I think keep the double play in order. Try to get out of here. And there looks like the squall's coming to a. Tell you what, if this announcing thing don't work out for you, meteorologist.
Stand in front of that green wall.
That's right. Point. Do this. We have a cold front moving in.
Franco's 0 for. His spot is 0 for 3 today. Franco has it 0-1, and he takes inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 14 for his last 76 for Michael. Out to center field. That's pretty well struck. Kane going back, and he runs it down. So 1 away.
Pretty good strike for coming off the bench.
Yeah, it is.
In the rain, been sitting all game in the dugout.
About Lorenzo Kane, though. The route he took to that ball, amazing. You know, he saw it, put his head down, ran to his spot, looked up. Easy.
Yeah, I mean, I've always marveled at the way outfielders can read balls off the bat, especially with a packed house, you know, and white shirts and hats and things like that in the stands. Dig that ball out.
Lost the sunglasses. I'll go
Used
back
to have
and get him.
Used to have trouble at third base too, you know, on a day game. Ball coming off the bat. Coming out of the stands.
Did you have trouble at Dodger Stadium in day games?
Yes, yes. There's a lot of them that really were crazy.
It just seemed like everyone sitting around the Dodger dugout playing first base. When I was playing first base, they all had white shirts on.
Plus the light-colored seats too didn't help.
Well, Jack Russell, remember they had those metal seats, and if you didn't have a lot of people sitting there, the glare would come off them things.
Two balls, no strikes to Scott Kingery, who is 1 for 2 today with a walk. Fouls it off to the right. Coming up after the ball game, it's Phillies post-game live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Rob Ellis, Ricky Metallico, Corey Seidman are standing by. We'll recap today's ball game.
Smell it, Tom?
I can smell the rain, John.
You can smell the rain. Ah, the rain.
Two balls, 1 strike to Kingery. Outside 3-1.
It's rained 23 out of the last 40 days in Florida, where I live. Yeah, everything's flooding. Just thought you guys want to know that.
Everything's green.
Yeah. Lakes are all filled up.
We were happy about that, about our backyard. The fish seem to tend to want to bite better when it's. We've been catching a few good ones back there.
3 balls, 1 strike to Kingery. And low, ball 4. So Scott walks for the 2nd time today. And J.P. Crawford will come up lefty on lefty.
3. Was that 3-2 count?
1, 3-1.
3-1. 84 mile an hour something with a 9-run lead.
That'd get some barking out of the dugout back when I played.
Might get some barking out of your own dugout.
Wrap up the series tomorrow.
Fans are starting to make their way back down to their seats.
Rain has lightened up a little bit.
It was a squall, Tom.
Swing and a miss, 0-1 to JP. JP is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout.
Rain isn't bothering them.
Oh, they're Brewers fans. They might not even know it's raining. They're so happy with the first 2 games of this series.
Outside, 1-1.
People coming up with some great seats right now.
Plenty available.
I was looking down there, looking. Look, there's a TV here.
Upstairs, 2-1.
Tom, you think your daughter had the wherewithal to get out of the rain?
Nope, I could see her down there. She's still sitting there. She's got something on top of her head. I'm not really sure why.
Oh, I see her Hoskins jersey.
Yeah. Now she's up without. There she is. She's using her friend Maddie's shirt.
He got her a towel.
Well, you've raised them well, Tom.
Here,
you should be proud.
Here to the end. And Crawford is hit by the pitch. That'll load up the bases.
There we come.
Right on the pad.
And Andrew Knapp is coming up.
Was that a dance move?
I think that was as close to a dance move as you're going to get from her.
I tell you what, give her credit. She's still cheering.
Love of the game, John.
It is. I watched part of that movie. Was that the Kevin Costner?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was on the other day.
I watched part of that one day. I don't like the flashback movies.
It's hard to follow.
Excuse me, boys. I got a baseball question for
you.
Knapp changes stance?
A little bit. Not drastic, but yeah, a little bit.
It's like he's kind of closed up there. I know left-handed, he's got this big wide open stance, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he made that adjustment on the road trip. Last time we saw him right-handed was against the Dodgers. Outside and low, 2 balls and no strikes.
Get the tying run to the plate. That's all we need to do.
Been a long day, hasn't it? How many more runners will we need? 5 more?
Yeah, we're going to need some scoring. Outside corner, 2-1.
The ball could have been outside.
Maybe they know another squall's coming.
Swing and a miss, 2-2. Came back with a slider to even the count up. The veteran Boone Logan. He has been with a variety of teams, the Braves, the Yankees. Just a bit low, 3-2. That's a good eye.
We need runners, Tom. We need. Oh boy.
Craig Counts was thinking, I have to get somebody up again.
I didn't think he thought he was going to be making that call.
Fly ball, shallow center field.
Oh, here we go with
he has it.
The double catch. No, we don't need it.
Yeah, there are 2 outs. And Nick Williams will be the hitter.
Well, I can't understand. I'm watching Nick take his practice swings right there, and he swings from high to low. He swings. Why does everybody take level downward practice swings and then uppercut when the ball's coming?
That I do not know. Everybody does take the same one though, except for Ryan Braun. Breaking ball low. It's 1-0. Another one low. 2 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, Michael, you know, at the end of the year, they're not going to look at if Nick gets a base hit right here and drives in 2 runs. You say, well, yeah, but he drove in a couple when the game was out of hand. It plays out. That's why you play them all, right? I've heard people say,
I've heard that a lot.
7th inning, you know, late game situations. Well, how do you know if it's 15-1 or 2-1?
How about that pitch right there?
They called that a strike.
Did you see that? 2-0.
Slider.
He threw a slider, broke from behind his back over the middle of the plate. I'll be darned.
Outside, and now 3 balls and 1 strike. Corey Knebel is up on the mound in the bullpen.
I mean, is that a moral victory for tomorrow? If you can they have to bring Knebel in?
I guess to get him warmed up once. I don't know how much it affects him, but.
Yeah, but if they have to bring him in.
Yeah.
You get to see him.
That's true. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Challenged him with the fastball.
All right, let's go. Mano y mano. 3-2. 2 outs.
I bet he throws a slider.
Bottom of the 9th. 9-run lead.
Belmont Steak says he throws a slider.
If he doesn't challenge him with a fastball right now, he's gutless.
Runners will be off the 3-2 pitch. And he rocks it foul.
You were right.
Well, why would he? I guess if you throw one 2-0, you still got a three ball pitch. You can still come back with the at bat. But when it's 3-2, if you miss, you're walking with a slider. Are they that good now? They can get both of them over the same amount of time.
Boy, I think some of them can. I don't know if all of them can. Another one fouled away.
No way, Nick battling. What the heck? Get something out of this thing. Get you some.
Ball strike ratio, not great. Fly ball left field. Ryan Braun is out there. This should do it. He's under it, and he makes the catch. The Phillies leave him loaded here in the 9th inning, and they lose by a final of 12-3. Brewers 12 runs in consecutive games for the first time since 1998 at Wrigley Field. The Phillies have now are now 4-11 in their last 15 ball games. Our Chevy player of the game is Ji-Man Choi, the 7th pitch at Grand Slam in Brewers history, and that gave the Brewers the lead for good, the one that they enjoyed for the rest of the ball game. So the final score, it's the Brewers 12 and the Phillies 3. Brewers take the first 2 games of this series. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.